Winston Abraham, speak of the devil, here is Winston now as he rips it out of the middle for the Kangaroos. He goes long in towards full forward. Almost the mark taken, not quite play on, and pushed in towards the pocket by Harvey. He's dynamic in that forward zone. Shannon Grant there to assist. Back to Harvey again. Centering ball in towards Winston Abraham. Can't quite get there in time. Twisting and turning was Benny Gale. And he says, where's the boundary line? And it's over there towards Joel Baldwin, who will see it safely over for throw-in as the Kangaroos do the early attacking.
Yeah, it's fascinating at the moment. He's just watching the players see where they'll be picking up. Brendan Gale is a key factor. Him and Spider Burton. Spider's been terrific this year for the Kangaroos, giving them first use of the ball.
Gale has been in good form for the Tigers. He's contesting here and he wins it with the left hand. Chance for Tawney. He gets taken to ground. Pushes it back to the danger zone. Winston Abraham is lurking there. Tried to get it away. Back to Abraham again. Shoots out the hand pass. It's danger here for the Tigers. Broderick tries to get a left foot to it. A little too slow. Peter Bell comes ripping through now. Around he goes. He heads for goal, but he pulls a little too far. First score of the night is a behind, and it goes to the Kangaroos.
So he didn't weave his way through there too. Richmond bench there. It's James. And who else we got there? Dragosevic, Harrison and Proctor.
Leon Cameron, the former Dog, who's really been the designated kicker, and his disposal is much talked about because it is so good. Rawlings gave it straight to Benny Gale. That's dangerous. Gale, however, gives it straight to Jason McCartney.
And McCartney got the job on Holland tonight. Another good matchup. Holland terrific overhead.
McCartney goes back towards the centre. Lang in front. No mark taken. Ball spills to ground. Passes Shannon Grant. Comes towards Pickett. He's in the middle of the ground. He shrugs one tackle. Somehow he gets clear. He escapes. And his disposal is perfect to Carey.
Well, that was fantastic by Byron Pickett. I think it was Matthew Knights that he took on. Bumped him. Matthew Knights came off second best, and then a terrific decision, a great kick to Wayne Carey. Looks like he's starting in the centre and just pushing forward.
47 goals so far this season. Looking to give the Kangaroos a flying start, and that is straight through the middle. If Carey gets his first, the Kangaroos are away so far this season. 11 wins, 6 losses, and a percentage just under 103.
It's an interesting one too, Plugger. Would you, Gasper going with Carey in the centre bounces, would you prefer to see Gasper perhaps starting down back and just pick him up on the way through?
Yeah, I guess it's a bit of a catch-22 situation there, Roosie, but I think in the past Gasper's done pretty well on Wayne Carey, and he was certainly the obvious choice to pick up Wayne early on tonight.
The Kangaroos doing the bulk of the early attacking. Carey has the first goal. Gale floating high in the middle against Burton. Broderick wins it out of the centre, down towards the half-forward line. King was the defender and he pushed it wide to accommodate Bell. Goes hurriedly onto the left foot, down towards John Blakey. Talk about veterans, how good's this boy been? Blakey sees it over the line with Mark Chaffee, and we've got a throw in. 316 games.
And he's been in outstanding form too recently, John Blakey, just getting better with age, Plugger.
And still doesn't show any signs of slowing down at all, does he?
Just in the Roos attacking zone on Saturday night football here on 7.
Looks like Campbell's trying to pick up Bell, and Broderick's trying to pick up Simpson, and Simpson's actually trying to pick up Campbell. So a bit of a roundabout going on there.
Scholl taken to the ground, loses the footy. Simpson in over the top. And there will be a bounce. David Howlett, John Harvey and Troy Burton are the men in white in charge tonight. Crowd still filtering in.
It's not too bad a crowd actually, Plugger. We were up here before for the Port Power game versus the Kangaroos when there was only about 5,000. It's a pretty good crowd here tonight.
Good crowd, and you see it a lot. Saturday night does bring the crowd out, but they'd certainly be happy with the attendance tonight so far.
Stevens, a snap, and what a snap!
Yeah, that's terrific for Anthony Stevens. That'll do his confidence a world of good. Well documented the fact that he's been out for the majority of the year. And I was actually at the hotel earlier in the year when he did have that nasty accident. And it's fantastic to see him back playing on that particular night. Certainly it could have ended up a lot worse than what happened. And great to see Anthony Stevens. An early touch for him is really important because I believe he's one of the most critical parts of the Kangaroos game. Best and fairest winner last year. And if he can get back to some sort of that form, then the Kangaroos might do some damage in the finals.
2 early goals to the Kangaroos. Mind you, the Dockers got 2 early goals last night against Essendon.
We'll see 2 forward line structures here, vastly different. We've got Richmond with their 2 half forwards and two full forwards down there, and up the other end the Kangaroos are playing 3 men on the one side of the ground, so they're obviously leaving one side of the ground open up, a lot of space there for the forwards to work into.
Tony, does a season like this take its toll on a side like Richmond that has played a number of players with fairly severe injuries, and I guess in the end injuries have taken their toll and they've been forced to rest? They've virtually been decimated from day one.
I think it's really just started to show the last few weeks, and
yeah.
I mean, you've got to give credit where it's due. They have been fantastic all year. They've just played with so much, you know, just inspiration and just so much enthusiasm, and they've just showed a lot of ticker, I think, all year, and I think that's a credit to Danny, the way he's coached, and he's really got these players up. But I think it's just starting to show that, you know, the likes without Richardson and co, it's just been very hard for him, and it's probably just starting to show a little bit.
McCartney kicks towards centre wing. Scholl, if it sits, will be in business, but he's going to have to be quick. Not quick enough. Needs support and gets it. Seems to be Kangaroos everywhere at the moment.
Just hung on a little bit too long there, I think, Sandy. It was a free kick against Scholl. He made a terrific tackle, but he just dragged the player down. Cameron just dragged him down and gave away a free kick.
Leon Cameron changes direction, and he comes to Benny Gale. Gale from half-back looks in towards the middle. Oh, over the top. Taggart takes a beauty.
Isn't he a fantastic player, this fellow? Hey? He's just incredible.
Well, that kick...
And a great kick, too.
Finds the leading Scholl, who's 50 metres out, but will be kicking from 55.
But isn't that a forward's nightmare, though, Plugger? They kicked the Nick Daffy just a little bit high, saying, why don't you jump on my back? Just watch it, just a little bit high. Thanks, Byron. Thanks very much.
It's probably the right decision, but he's just put a bit too much weight into the kick and just lobbed it up on top of his head, and just a poor kick at the end of the day.
Scholl to give the Kangaroos a very handy 19-point lead early on, kicking from 55. Going to struggle with the distance. Off hands and through from behind.
I think Scholl's also a pretty important part of their team. Plugger as well. He's a pretty hard guy to match up on. Even though he's in the twilight of his career, he's pretty quick, and you need to put a pretty good player on him.
Always, whenever he goes forward, he's always capable of kicking 2 or 3 or 4 goals, and that's where he hurts you, I think, because you can always put him down for a couple of goals when he's playing at the forward line.
Last year, do you think, boys, for him? 32 years of age?
Yeah, I think it's his last year. He's probably got a bit to offer, but players like that don't like to go out playing the seconds too much. And he's been a terrific player, and good luck to him if it's his last year.
Cameron finds Joel Bowden, and the left foot is away from half-back up towards Rogers and co. Rogers is forced to do it from behind. Pickett is waiting down in front. There are 3 Blues on the outer side, and they could raffle this ball. Away they go. Colbert will be looking for a big game. No question of that for the Kangaroos tonight. He's had major problems with injuries at his new club, and would desperately like to put a good one together. Shannon Grant, that was very clever. It finishes with Blakey. Blakey from 42 metres is bending it back. That's a goal! Johnny Blakey.
That is a terrific goal from Johnny Blakey. Just a bit of a mistake by the Richmond player there. I think it was Tivendale who actually got the football and ran back in and kicked it and got it smothered. If he had given off a quick handball there, a couple of teammates running past. Good handball there to John Blakey, and John Blakey, he loves kicking a goal, John Blakey, I tell you what, and just could have been touched there, but it just flew through. Great start once again to Johnny Blakey, first goal.
Good work by Shannon Grant too, just had enough peace of mind not to grab the ball and handball it, just tapped it over his teammate and got the ball on quickly, got onto Blakey, and as you said, Ruse, he just snapped a fantastic goal.
Not a renowned goal kicker. That's number 5 for the season, but I reckon he'll remember that one, possibly more than the other 4 at the moment. And here he goes again, pulls that ball in, but he was taken high, so he's going to get the free kick. And he wastes no time. Around Matthew Knights he goes, and he pulled that ball. That was intentional. Harvey is going to straighten up, and he'll have a shot here. This boy's very, very exciting. He's in cruise control, and he misses to the left. Well, what are you doing, Brent?
It deserved better than that, didn't he? He threw the dummy in, got around onto his preferred foot, and really at the end of the day was probably a pretty easy shot there, and he really should have kicked a 6-pointer there, but just kicked it off the instep a little bit, and she's just gone left of the big stick.
And he is a goal kicker. He's kicked 27 goals this year, averaged just under 23 possessions. He's had a terrific year, so he would be a bit disappointed in that.
Cameron goes short to Campbell. Wayne Campbell, 3 times best and fairest. We look beyond that, dear old Jack Dyer. What a great player he was for the Tigers. 7 best and fairest. Good ordinary player, in the words of old Jack.
Yeah, 7's not a bad effort, 7, is it?
Unbelievable. And of course, KB won 5. That's in days gone by, as the Tigers strive to try and get into the 8. That's an excellent mark taken by Vardy. He comes wide towards Tawney. Tawney's got some space, but he's saying to the players, I'm going long, but there's no one there. He can go as long as he likes.
Really just blasted away there. He had a couple of teammates on the lead then. Particularly Brad Ottens could have really passed it to him then, I thought, Rosie, and he's just blasted away into the goal square. Yeah, there was 2 or 3 Kangaroos players there.
Carey,
just behind play, Byron Pickett got absolutely cleaned up there, and a shepherd, and he's in the hands of the trainer and not looking too flash at all.
Tell you what, it takes a bit too to clean him up, so we'll keep an eye on that.
Rory Hilton it was, boys.
Well, Rory doesn't mind that.
He's coming off the ground too, Nick, looks like. Did you see the incident?
Yeah.
Okay, probably enough said at the moment. Kellaway was involved in that thrust down into the forward line, and the mark has been taken by Rogers. So there we can see Byron Pickett leaving the ground. All-Australian player last year, but he's got his problems at the moment. There's Rory Hilton, I can see out in the middle there, just having a drink. The boy from Wodonga, who wears number 1 for the Tigers. But this is Rogers.
Important kick for Richmond, this one, Sandy.
Yeah, they've got to get on the board, don't they?
Lead back to 15 points.
Pretty good off the boot from Matthew Rogers.
Just gone to the right, has it?
Yep, just a little.
Not a bad kick, though.
They really do need a steadier, don't they, Plugger? They're 3-3 to 1 point. The Kangaroos are pretty well on top. Let's just watch it here.
Yes, Pickett and Hilton clashing. Yes.
Well, the picture tells 1,000 words.
Blakey on the half-back flank, meantime, takes the mark. Clayton wants it short, but elects to go long. Up towards Scholl. He was under the pump, but he did pretty well. Back to Clayton, who'd followed it down. His hand pass penetrating. Back to Scholl once again. Motlop is there as well, and he's going to need assistance. Motlop is claimed by Kellaway. The ball spills free eventually to Cameron. He goes in towards the centre, and Nick Daffy needs a kind bounce, and he gets it now, but what's he got on the forward line? The lead is on, and Ottens takes it in front of the eyes.
Yeah, what a beautiful kick from Nick Daffy. Well set up there. Leon Cameron saw Nick Daffy in the middle of the ground all by himself, and then Nick Daffy on the left foot. Plugger, there's plenty of space down there at the moment, so if they can get it down there quickly enough, there's a lot of space for the big fella Ottens to move into.
Yeah, certainly when you move the ball quickly, it does create a lot of space in the forward line. That was a good lead, but a great pass there from Nick Daffy.
Just while he's setting up, Nick McArdle, how's Mr. Pickett?
Yeah, Sandy, the doctors he's getting ready. You might be able to see now, waiting to come back on.
He's a tough nut.
Yeah, the doctor's having a good chat with him just to make sure that he knows where he is and got his senses about him.
Okay, Ottens goes for goal. The first one for the Tigers.
That's really, Plugger, the first time they've moved the ball through the centre corridor, isn't it? Previous to that, they've been going wide, and that's the results of going down the middle of the ground.
Yeah, and especially to move the ball quickly too. If you can get the ball played on, just gives your forwards a lot more chance to work into the space. And just as we said before, a terrific kick from Nick Daffy. Found Ottens on the lead, and he went back and kicked a major. A much needed one for Richmond.
Hard to keep a good man down, and Byron Pickett is back out on the ground, and he'll amble past Rory Hilton.
And what's the chances of a square up later in the match? Could be on, couldn't it?
Keep an eye on that, Tones. I'm sure you will. Peter Bell gets it out of the middle, but it goes straight to Broderick. Now here's a chance for the Tigers as they go long towards Rogers and Co again. Rogers is there. He's got it now. He steps at goal, but he's away to the right.
Terrific handball in the middle from Paul Broderick. Absolute lightning handball. Getting the ball quickly out of the centre, and that's a real key at the SCG. Fantastic effort from Paul Broderick, getting it down quickly. And Ottens could be a bit of a handful for McKernan. Playing at fullback, certainly not an easy position to play, and I wouldn't have thought Corey would have played down there too much.
Carey in front of Gasper, can't take the mark. Harvey does it beautifully. He combines with Simpson. Now Brent Harvey from a standing start on centre wing, looks towards half forward. The Kangaroos caught behind on that occasion. No one able to get it clear. And the umpire is letting it go. Scholl tried to get it out. Broderick came over the top, flicked wide towards Chaffee. Chaffee's kick goes straight to Harvey. He's got it on centre wing for the Kangaroos. He's belted as he runs into Knights. Takes the kick to half forward. Spilled free to Bowden. He got shoved in the back, but he lost the footy at the same time. Now they'll get clear and they will steady. Better as Daffy goes towards Knights and he marks in front of Carey. Matthew Knights around the body. He's a lovely left footer. Kicks towards Gasper at half forward. Couldn't take the mark. Welcome back, says Mr. Pickett. He's back in the thick of things. Clayton finds Pickett close to the line. Byron Pickett tumbles an ugly putt straight over the line. We've got a throw in.
Yeah, well done by Pickett there. Straight back into the frame. He is a tough fellow. And I think the doctor would have been asked him on the boundary, where are we playing? Are we at the MCG? Are we at the SCG? Obviously, he's given the correct answer. We are at the SCG. Go back on the ground, son.
3-3 plays 1 goal 2. Kangaroos leading, under 10 minutes remaining in the first quarter. McCartney does it, trying to push it down to Blakey, and he can't believe that he hasn't got the free kick. Campbell has it. McCartney heads down into defence. King tries to chop it off. He'd love a big 150. Mind you, so with Nick Daffy. McKernan needs a big game. Stolen by Rory Hilton. Gives it away now. Here's an opportunity for Daffy as he goes towards goal, but again, off target.
Oh, that's one that could be wooing at the end of the day, Sandy. That, for Nick Daffy, usually a noted goal kicker. And gee, it nearly bet London or Bricky put that one through 9 times out of 10, Rosie. Yeah,
no question. That's his bread and butter. He's a fantastic goal kicker. And when you don't get many opportunities on the half-forward flank, you've really got to nail them.
McKernan takes the kick out and plays on now. 2 kicks and suddenly they've got it 40 metres from goal. And the mark at the back by Scholl is going to ensure a score for the Kangaroos.
I tell you, he's been very lively early, Craig Scholl. He's only had 2 or 3 possessions, but he's had 3 or 4 tackles already. Very, very lively. Well done by Corey McKernan too, just to get a quick kick in. Little nudge under the ball. It's a tough job too. Callaway's picking him up. So he started off very well, Craig Scholl.
Scholl, 45 metres out, is away to the right. I just wondered too, boys, and Tony, you might have a comment on it, the psychological warfare that goes on within a club like Richmond when you get beaten to a pulp by 101 points the week before. It's all well to say, yeah, look, we're looking ahead to the next game of the Kangaroos, but there's got to be something that stays in the back of the mind, doesn't there?
Oh, well, I guess there is. You try and tell yourself not, Sandy, but, you know, when you get beat by 100 points, it's and it doesn't happen a lot these days in footy. I think the sides are a lot even than what they were, say, 10 years ago. Yeah. But, you know, Richmond really just need to go there and play like they were in the first 10 or 12 matches of the year. They were just all running and just taking risks and just playing with a lot of enthusiasm. If they do that, they're going to be right in this game.
Clayton to Bell to Colbert, and it slams into the behind post. No addition to the score.
The good thing about Richmond, they've been able to win the tight ones, and that mentally can give you an edge. I think it's you know, just to be able to go to the wire, you know, in them real hard and tough games and win them. And I think they've won about 6 games under 2 goals this year. That's a lot of credit in itself. I reckon that's mentally that's got to give you an advantage.
Yeah, well, that could make it pretty tight because the Kangaroos too have fallen over the line on a number of occasions, and last week by 1 solitary point.
Well, they virtually scored all their goals in 1 quarter last week. I think they kicked 11 goals in 1 quarter and 3 goals for the remaining 3 quarters. So they were very lucky last week, North Melbourne. Just good enough, though, that they can kick 11 goals in 1 quarter to win the match.
Ben Harrison warming up on the sidelines. He came back into the Tiger lineup this week. Kellaway and co take it to the line. With him also is his teammate Greg Tivendale. There's Ben Harrison.
And you just wonder how long it's going to be before Carey plays as a permanent forward. I think it's a good option by Pagan to give him a run around early. Takes a little bit of the pressure off him, but certainly when the game's there to be won, he needs to be playing on the forward line.
The hurried kick was by Vardy. He's picked up a few possessions in this first quarter and has done pretty well as Broderick goes towards Hilton. King is right there with him. King sort of pushed him into that, but he then stole it. He stole it, and he dashes through centre wing as only David King can. Kicks up towards centre half forward. Colbert was in the pack, but he couldn't take the mark. Trying to force his way through was Greg Tivendale. Goes wide to the outer side as he goes onto the left foot, and that will be safe. He finds Holland. Holland's a long way from his zone. The kick, however, drops short. Simpson Simpson is told to play on, and Joel Bowden says, well, I'm going to dump you.
Bit of a shame there. Simpson actually thought he took the mark there and didn't quite hear the umpire's decision there.
Certainly looked like he did take the mark.
Yeah.
He's running back here. If that's not a mark plugger, I've never seen one.
Here's Chaffee, and you have seen a few. There was another one there that went unnoticed. Pickett tried to storm his way through. McKernan steadies the ship with a cooling hand pass to Peter Bell. He looks towards the half-back line, and that's okay, finding Blakey. John Blakey's away. The 32-year-old dashes through the centre, kicks towards half-forward. No one able to take it cleanly. Scholl's the danger man. If he gets clear, he'll have a shot. He bends it back. It's going to be very close. Not close enough.
We've seen some goals missed early, Plugger, haven't we? That was another one that 3-5 to 1-3, so already pretty inaccurate kicking.
Yeah, we stated earlier that Craig Scholl is a noted goal kicker, and really, he probably should have done a little bit better than that one.
Ben Harrison just preparing to come on, boys.
Thanks, Nick. 8 effective scoring shots to 4 at the moment in favour of the Kangaroos. Cameron is always one to take his time when he brings that ball back into play. Simpson lurking, caught, gets it away nicely. Lang in towards Scholl again. He's got to stand his ground as the galloping hordes came at him. Here's Bell. Well, he just blazed away at that as if there was no tomorrow and another behind. They are frittering some opportunities in front of goal.
Yeah, they did blaze away at that, didn't he? Had plenty of time to kick that, and should have made another one that should have been kicked. These kick-outs are interesting. Leon Cameron just going short there. He's normally a very good kick, but they haven't been able to generate much from the kick-outs as yet. It's been a very good zone from the Kangaroos.
When you go short off that first kick, you've really got to go long with your second one to get some distance between the fullback position and where the ball ends up. And obviously, when you're going longer, it just makes it a little bit harder to hit your targets.
Bowden found Ottens, who looks down towards Hilton. The Tigers threatening, but they've still only got the 1 goal on the board at the moment. Callaway's in the middle, and he takes the mark. Still a long, long way from home. Shooting down the forward line is Tivendale. In towards full board, McKernan.
Yeah, terrific mark from Corey McKernan. That's what he needs to do more of. His average is about 6 marks a game, but he's a big man, and he's got that ability to take marks. He really should be taking 10 or 12 marks every second or third week.
McKernan's kick to the outer side. Oh, Spider, the galloping hat rack, fires up with a fine grab. He goes towards centre wing. They've got the numbers there, the Kangaroos. Evan Hewitt came back into the lineup this week. He goes towards half forward. It should result in something for Clayton. He's still outside 50. Now he looks towards Colbert and co. Callaway is there, the mark is there, and it's Colbert. Not going to be paid. Winston Abraham out the back door. Suddenly it comes back to Blakey. The veteran's going to have a shot, and he'll show them how to do it. Go John Blakey.
Yeah, just leave it up to Johnny Blakey to sort it out. That's his second goal, and hasn't he started off 5 possessions, 2 goals? They worked that magnificently from the back there, though. Corey McKernan taking a terrific mark. And Lee Colbert there going up. Callaway got first grab. Should have probably punched. Terrific handball back to Carey. And another great handball. Really good quick hands in a tight situation. And Johnny Blakey for goal number 2. And he started this game off in fantastic form.
2 goals to John Blakey. In fact, he's not 32 years of age, he's 33. I was being unkind to him.
I actually think he's about 38, Sandy, but I think he misplaced his birth certificate when he first came to Fitzroy.
Yeah, well, there's some longevity there. You played to what? You were 35? So must have been something in the water down there, Roosie. There's Blakey again giving it to Stevens. Stevens a centering ball in towards centre half forward. The Kangaroos looking good at the moment, although Colbert gets caught, tried to get it clear. At the bottom was Bell, he loses it. Tivendale's got a little bit of time, and he needs it. And they need a steadier too. They're going to get back into this game. Harrison, they're certainly not out of it, but they've got some catching up to do. 4 goals, 6, 10 effective scoring shots to 4. 1 goal, 3.
You've just got to be careful coming off the half-back flank there, that they're going a bit too wide. They're hitting the wings here, and it's a long way home at the SOG when you want to play around the wings. They really need to come inboard from their half-backs and set some play up, get the ball moving quickly through the middle for their forwards.
Burton and Ottens, one by the former, pushed towards the boundary line. Here's Blakey again. He is having an extraordinary first term, John Blakey. Combining with Bell and Harvey, there appeared to be a bit of a shove there. Hewitt's at the back, but he can't take it cleanly. Vardy's on the last line for the Tigers, and he'll find Daffy across half back. Nick Daffy goes in towards Knights. Matty Knights swings onto the left foot. It wasn't very pretty, but it's going to be effective. Tivendale again, picking up plenty of possessions towards Rogers. Strap right knee. Rogers picked it up and tried to flick it forward to accommodate Gasper. He's under the pump from Carey. Carey wins out on this occasion from Gasper. Chaffee's a chance now. He's inside 50. Gives it back towards Rogers. Got to bend it round the body, and he does. Suck it off the ground, and they do, the Kangaroos. It was the Tigers who needed to do that, so close to goal. Joel Bowden was there. He couldn't convert. McCartney down in defence with Martin not in the lineup. Archer is also out. So Dennis Pagan has been forced to restructure that defensive setup a little. Stevens, growing in confidence, thought about going short to Jason McCartney, but then elected to go longer. Could have been a little bit of a shove. Shannon, there was a shove.
Yeah, you can maybe just hold up or maybe put one arm. But when you go with a two-handed shove, I know, Pluggy, you got away with about 300 of those. But
oh dear. Ottens gives it to Daffy. Daffy goes in towards half-forward. That's better. And Benny, big Benny Gale, who's been in good form, will have a shot 35 metres out directly in front.
And this is where I think they can hurt them if they rotate Gale and Ottens down in the forward line. Ottens has kicked 26 goals this year and Gale 19. They could worry them. McCartney's a terrific defender, but just a little bit shorter than both Gale and Ottens. So if Gale can push forward, it's certainly going to help Richmond's cause, and they desperately need this goal. He
has been arguably the most accurate kick in the competition this season. 19 goals, 2. Now, having said that, this could go out on the full.
You know what happens when you give him a rap, Sandy?
I know. 35 metres out. Oh, my hat.
He's missed it.
Can you believe it?
And Mr. and Mrs. Gale are on the phone now to Channel 7 and saying thanks very much, Sandy.
Sorry. 19 goals, 3. But
now these kick-ins the Kangaroos have done particularly well. They're normally getting it fairly long and very attacking as King plays on.
He does go straight down the middle. Clayton's his target, and he's got him. Now, the second kick, so important. Clayton halted for a moment by Tivendale. This has got to be accurate because Gasper was dropping back. He runs into Shannon Grant. Jason Tawney taken to ground. Gives it back to Gasper. He finds Chaffee. Chaffee's going to change direction and head to the outer side. He's got Harrison. Recovers and looks towards half forward over the head of Joel Bowden over a couple. Pickett will come cruising through and give it to Blakey. It's been his quarter. Tucks it under the arm. Rips it through the middle. Looks towards full forward. Big pack of players. Colbert was at the back. Bell is lurking. Harvey is there as well. Harvey, deft little kick back towards Chaffee. He can't take it cleanly. Maybe they could give it a behind. No. Harrison gives it back to Chaffee. Kicks long to the outer side. Tigers have the numbers. They should be able to clear. And they'll come running away through Leon Cameron. A superb delivery of the football. He looks in towards half forward and he finds Benny Gale. Here's a promising thrust forward. Daffy again in towards Rogers. Rogers takes the mark. Inside 50 in opposition to a frustrated David King. In fact, it's Calthorpe now on the ground, and Calthorpe frustrated that he couldn't affect the spoil. Rogers is going to have a shot.
That was outstanding play from the Tigers. Two of the most skillful players in their team. Leon Cameron, left foot to Brendan Gale, fantastic. And then Nick Daffy, a great pass to Rogers. And Calthorpe, interesting matchup on Rogers. Wondering how long that might last.
Rogers kicking from 50, an important kick for the Tigers. They've just got one to date, and that's another behind.
They've had their chances, Plugger, haven't they? A couple of times they've gone forward, the Tigers, just the wrong option or a poor kick, but they're certainly getting the ball off half-back and running it pretty well out of defence, but a couple of turnovers really hurt them.
Yeah, look, certainly they could be a lot closer than what they are at this stage. They're playing pretty good, and a couple of times that they have moved the ball quickly and moved it through the middle of the ground. They have looked really sharp.
Oh, here he is again. Ladies and gentlemen, Mr. John Blakey. His pass in towards half-forward. Scholl couldn't take it cleanly on the half volley. Socket back towards Cameron. He's at centre-half back at the moment. A toe poke over the top. Only goes a short distance to Harrison. Harrison looks at Nick Daffy on the outer side, and he's got him. Niter is running with him, but Harrison decides to go towards Joel Bowden. If it sits for the left footer, he may get a shot here, but it ricochets off his opponent. He'll get another chance. He needs support. He threw it out to Knights almost. Knights kicks in towards half-forward. McCartney chanced his arm and thrusts it forward to Winston Abraham. He's got a hectare as Winston passes into half forward, and it's a beauty. Scholl has taken it well outside 50, looks in towards full forward. Carey's there, and he just marshals his troops, and he lets the younger man in Hewitt come forward to take the mark.
Great effort from Wayne Carey. Just put his body in between the Richmond opponent and who was it? Evan Hewitt. Then. Yeah, he was screaming into the goal square there. Wayne Carey, just enough peace of mind just to block the passage of the Richmond player and let Hewitt take a strong mark in the goal square.
Kicking for his first, right on the siren, no problems. Hewitt gets the goal.
And it's just those little things that can make a big difference at the end of the day, Ruzi, can't it?
I tell you what, I can't remember. There's so many players unchecked out there. It's amazing. It's almost like circle work. It seems to be going down one side of the ground, and if they score, it goes back to the centre. If they don't score, it comes out the other side of the ground. It goes down. There is so many loose players out there at the moment, Sandy. Go forward.
Shot of Nick Daffy as we commence the second quarter. 24 points the margin, and the Tigers will want the first couple if they're going to hang on and hold the coattails of this Kangaroo outfit. Clayton takes the hand pass. It came from Hewitt. Clayton kicks in towards half forward. Gasper defends.
Looks like Gasper's gone back. I know Carey started in the midfield then, but Gasper looks like he's playing as a genuine defender now.
Oh, big fly from Simpson. Couldn't complete the mark, however. The Tigers do have the numbers. Tawney's under the pump, tried to get boot to ball, wasn't quite successful. Gale flicks it out the back. Bowden was waiting. Cameron comes storming through now. Leon Cameron looks inside 50 for the Tigers. Strong mark taken by Rogers.
That was a fantastic mark play. I don't know how often Kelthorpe would have played against a marking player as well, so it is a particularly different. Just watch him hold him back here, hold him back with the right arm, and that is a very strong mark.
There was a chance to probably get a free kick, even if he did drop that. He had his right arm right above Rogers' right-hand shoulder there, so David Kelthorpe just needs to pick up the game a little bit here.
Been a major goal kicker for the Tigers this year with 26 to his name. That's coming back nicely, and he's got 27. Rogers back in the lineup this week, gets his first for the night.
Yeah, he's a pretty important player for them, Rogers. Very versatile. He can go into the midfield, play on a wing or ruck rover type, but certainly down forward at the moment, he's creating all sorts of problems for Kelthorpe. And it is a difficult matchup. Leon Cameron has been fantastic off the halfback flank. Left foot, right foot, his skills are outstanding. It was a good kick, but well done. He just used his body particularly well there, just held Kelthorpe out, and his first goal, but he has been lively up there, Rogers.
Troy Burton once again, and Spider Burton is the player winning it. Carey couldn't get a run in it. Gale almost tried to soccer that ball off the ground. Knight sneaks out the back door. Thought about Harrison, but eventually went the other way to Broderick. Goes in towards half forward and beautifully chopped off by Corey McKernan. He dashes out of defence, looks up towards the centre, and a strong grab. Not going to be paid to Hewitt. Should have been. Chaffee lost it to Daffy. That's okay. Harrison claimed, ripped to the ground. A cry of ball goes unnoticed. King sets himself to soccer off the ground. He had a fresh air shot. Calthorpe pops it over the top. The Kangaroos under the pump at the moment, but they've got the numbers. McKernan and Blakey are both there. Smothered, and well smothered too, to keep that ball in the area. So the Tigers have a chance.
That was a terrific smother by Otten. It's just great to see a young player doing that. Obviously, you like to see him kicking goals and taking marks in the ruck contest, but great stuff for that smother.
He's going to be a very good player, Ottens, isn't he? Just a young man, but a big young man with a huge talent. Around the body, in towards full forward, and flicked to the boundary line for throw-in the right forward pocket.
It's an interesting play there by King. Rogers going for the mark and fell down going to take the mark, and King just basically kicked it out of his hand, so he may have been a tad lucky there not to given away a free kick for kicking in danger, which is a rule that's actually gone out of AFL football over the last 5 years.
McCartney jostling, but it wasn't a good throw in. It clean bowled the lot. King has another go as he tries to push it down towards the half-back line. Daffy's in all sorts of problems. Knight's a chance for Harrison. Harrison's inside 50. He blazes away a goal. Away to the left, and no score out on the full.
Matty Knights has had a couple of key possessions early. A little bit quiet in the first quarter, but certainly in this quarter, he's opened up pretty lively, and he is a key player for them.
Yeah, he certainly needs to get a lot of possessions for Richmond to win this game. I think he's a very important player, and he's really going to have 30 or 35 to make sure that Richmond have a chance of winning this game or two.
And you look at their run homes. I mean, the Kangaroos are probably one of the easier run homes, if there is such a thing. We'll talk about that later on as Shannon Grant flicks it round the body towards centre wing. Dashing through was Hewitt, gives it off towards Harvey. Brent Harvey looks towards a right half forward, up towards the 50. Forced to defend was Scholl. Carey is lurking there. Beautifully bumped by Kellaway. Slow to get up was Carey. That was well done. Broderick gives it to Knight. Knights gives it to Kellaway. Kellaway gives it off to Hilton. He goes in towards the middle, and the mark is taken by Chaffee. Now an opportunity for the Tigers. Rogers on the lead. Couldn't take it. The door will open for King. He can't pick it up. He slaps it towards the line. That's what he wanted, but it's kept in by Rogers only for a moment.
And that's the difference between the top teams and the bottom teams. Just that kick going into Rogers there. Just drops a metre short. And here's the replay on Carey. Good bump there from Kellaway. I'll tell you what, that did hurt Wayne Carey. Just held his shoulder and probably just winded him a little bit. He's still sucking in the oxygen there, Plugger.
It looks like he bit of a grimace on his face there. He might shoulder might be playing it a little bit.
Broderick tries to get onto the left foot, can't do so. Campbell's tucked in the pocket. Wayne Campbell, beautifully done. He wanted Rogers. He almost spotted him. It was just smashed clear. Tivendale's waiting down. He's a left-footer too. He bends it back high in towards full forward. The Kangaroos have the numbers. McCartney will pop it over the top, and they should be able to come away. Bell looks towards centre wing. Shannon Grant is his target. He's under the pump, and he's taken to the line. We've got a throw in with Chaffee providing the opposition to Shannon Grant, the two number 6s.
Been very quiet too, Shannon Grant. He hasn't been in as good a touch as he has been the last few weeks as he was early in the season. He has been a bit quiet.
Burton trying to poke it down towards Shannon Grant. Had a great year last year. This is taken by Harvey. Falls short to Gaster.
Yeah, the fellow he's playing on too, Plugger, Mark Chaffee, he's had a fantastic year for the Tigers, and he's been one that's really lifted this year.
He is a good player.
Kicks in towards the middle. Speak of the devil. Passes Broderick from Knights. Bell over the top. Look out. Knights, he's got you. And he has, but a little too late. The Kangaroos will go forward, up towards full forward once again. Scholl has been a danger man. The Colbert pass was good. Scholl is on a 45-degree angle.
Yeah, it was a good lead by Scholl and a good pass. And he has been dangerous up there. He's had 5 possessions, Craig Scholl, but he's really leading. He's very lively at the moment. And with so much space down there, he's playing on Kellaway, who's a very close checking player. But there is a lot of space, and he's a very quick player.
He's kicked a couple of points, so he really needs to kick this one, get a major here.
Their first score for the quarter. Oh, that's a beautiful kick. He's kicked it.
There's good quick handball in the middle there from a number of the Kangaroos boys too, just resulting in Lee Colbert, who's had a reasonable start to the game. He's been under a lot of pressure, injuries, been out a lot this year, but he's had 5 possessions and a couple of nice things. Just a bit of a bad handball there to Broderick, and great handball there. Just Colbert summed up the situation beautifully, and there was plenty of space out there for Scholl, and he is very lively at the moment, Craig Scholl, and that's his first goal.
We're back to a 24-point ball game in favour of the Kangaroos, their first score for the quarter. Burton sits underneath it. Gale two-fisted but can't get clear. It comes the way of Bell, who rips it out of the centre down towards Colbert. There was plenty of pushing and shoving going on there. Kellaway on the last line of defence. Thought about going over the line, but then comes back towards Tivendale, and he takes it on the half-back line. Been all right, Greg Tivendale, this year. Hasn't missed a game. He's taken to the line on this occasion. Peter Bell chats away, as he likes to do, to the umpire, just asking the odd question.
He's getting plenty of the football too, Bell. He's had 11 possessions already, so he's got a lot to talk about out there.
Carey was in front, but it was Knights who got it out towards Cameron. A floating right-footer to Nick Daffy in the middle. He can play on now. Sneaks away from King. Looks in towards the forward line. An opportunity now. That was better. Much better. And Aaron James will have a shot 25 metres out.
He's a very talented player, James, coming across from Collingwood, but just he's never reached the potential that a lot of people say that he's capable of. And
enigmatic.
Enigmatic's a very good word. So this will give his confidence a boost if he can kick this.
50th game tonight for Aaron James. It'd be a nice way to celebrate, wouldn't it? But only behind, I fear.
They're the goals that Richmond really need to kick, and unfortunately tonight they haven't been able to kick too many of them, but they are really bread and butter goals, and if Richmond are going to win this game, they're the ones they really need to kick.
King to himself, then to Blakey. You're going to have to be quick, John. He gets his skates on, kicks towards Carey. Gasper is right there with him. Carey, too good.
Yeah, just too body strength, just too good there. And great, just eyes on the footy after he took the first purchase.
Thought about Harvey one side, then went the other, and that's okay because the leaping shoal is there.
Yeah, just can't say enough about Craig Scholl's game so far. He's been in and out of the side this year, but gee, the way he's leading up to give Carey an option there, a lot of space down there, and he is very quick, even though he's about 32 or 33. He's still got a lot of pace on his side, so 32-year-old Craig Scholl going for goal number 2.
One of the finest products to come from the cropping district of Horsham, and he's done it.
Yeah, it's well done by Wayne Carey there. He's playing mainly in the midfield at the moment and just pushing forward occasionally, and good mark from Carey. And as usual, Wayne Carey, we talk so much about his skills, but he's also his decision-making is fantastic. Just went back, summed up the situation, and Craig Scholl at this particular stage is really causing Andrew Callaway some headaches down there. But you can't blame Callaway because there's plenty of space down there, and it is very hard for a fullback in those circumstances.
2 goals to Craig Scholl, both in this quarter. 1 point under 5 goals, the margin. Harvey, Tivendale, Grant, Chaffee jostling on centre wing. Meantime, the bounce. Carey tried to shovel it forward to accommodate Bell. Stevens was there as well. Poked out wide and beautifully done towards Pickett. He looks long in towards the forward line. Hewitt's the target. Evan Hewitt shoved out of it. Shannon Grant snaps, and he misses to the left.
He does it very well, Shannon Grant, doesn't he? Plugger. He's very good at getting underneath the marking contest, and normally, even that was a difficult shot, but normally he's actually a pretty good finisher.
Classic Shannon Grant there. Gets the ball onto his boot very quickly too, and usually very deadly in front of goal.
Joel Bowden having a few words as Darren Gasper drifts through the middle for the Tigers. Looks towards James again. Perfect.
Yeah, no, one thing that Darren Gasper, if you are critical of his game, it's his disposal, but on that occasion it was a fantastic kick. And James, even though he's a long way out, really play, he needs to kick this goal for the Tigers. Well,
he's going to be kicking from 50, and he fancies himself, and the Tigers certainly do need it. Let's hope for their sake that he can nail it.
Kicked it behind only
good.
Seconds ago.
Great kick.
Wonderful goal.
Yeah, look, he had to kick that goal. Like the game is really starting to get away from the Tigers, and they need to rest that momentum back. They're back to 4 goals. But at the moment, they just don't look capable of kicking 3 or 4 quick goals in a row.
He's been good since he's come onto the ground, though, James. He's a couple of good, strong leads, good grabs, and unfortunately a bad miss earlier on from half that distance, and then from 50 metres out there, from 50 metres out on the half-forward flank side there, ended up being a beautiful kick and a much-needed goal for Richmond.
Carey starting in the middle, and Gasper just a loose man across half-back now.
Again, back to a 24-point margin over the head of Pickett as they go down towards James again. Pickett follows it on. Hollander's there as well. Flick back towards James, but he's forced to apply the tackle. Daffy will see it over the line with Pickett.
Yeah, good pressure from the Richmond forwards there. Just seemed to maybe have lifted a notch, and they really need to get back in this game. Really, it's probably not too big a statement to say their season's really on the line tonight, I believe. If they lose tonight, they're probably in danger of not making the finals.
Well, especially when you consider their last home and away game is against Carlton. Now, here's a long bomb by Broderick. Looks good. That's what they want.
Good goal by Broderick there. That's a fantastic goal. He's been pretty good early. 8 possessions so far, and it's his first goal. Good thing about Paul Broderick, he's always in and under the packs. We see a ruck contest here. Just typical Paul Broderick, in and under the ruck contest, and he is a very, very good finisher. Great left foot, great skills a little player. He's certainly been around for a long, long time, Paul Broderick, and been an outstanding AFL player. His first goal for the night.
Paul Broderick gets goal number 1. One of a number of players who've come from the Camperdown district. That was interesting from Benny Gale in the middle. Knights tries to get it out, back to Gale, claimed by Carey, back to Knights, almost socked out of his hands, picked up by Spider, kicks to half forward, Shannon Grant. Now, he likes this situation, he could kick a goal. Long, and a bit of a shove out by Colbert, not very subtle, it'll come back.
Yeah, not very subtle there, Plugger. Probably the right decision, I would have thought.
Just needed to get on the side of him instead of at the back of him. He just had to work around to the side of him and just use his strength just to keep him out of the way. But, a bit of a disappointing effort there from Colbert's behalf.
Chaffee kicks towards half-back. Gale edged out by Burton. Socket off the ground towards Clayton. He'll keep it in play, Shane Clayton. He's on centre wing. Looks now towards right half forward. Bell with courage.
Good strong mark, that wasn't it?
Yeah, running back with the fly of the ball. Had Shannon Grant coming the other way, so he could have left it, but certainly showed plenty of courage.
That's a better kick by Shannon Grant, and there was some pushing and shoving and holding going on there. And I think this time Colbert is the recipient.
Yeah, I think what happened in that particular case, that Tawney actually held him from the front, even though he had front position. Just see that Colbert did get his arms on him as trying to work Tawney under the ball. So it's 50-50, but Tawney definitely grabbed his jumper there. And tit for tat, I guess Tawney got the last one. So Colbert gets this one.
Colbert just needs to lean on him with his shoulder and his hips to get him out of the way instead of using his hands, because he's going to get picked up more times than not if he wants to keep using his hands. He's going to get pulled up for pushing or for grappling. And whereas if he uses his hip and his shoulder, it won't happen. But a great kick from Lee Colbert.
Yeah, we've talked about Lee Colbert a lot, and it is hard coming back for a serious knee injury, and also the fact that he's changed clubs as well. So I guess a double jeopardy for Lee Colbert. A lot of pressure on him going to the Kangaroos, and also he's had a lot of hamstring problems this year, so he really hasn't been able to string 4 or 5 games together. But I think tonight, from what I've seen this year, this is his best outing so far. He's kicked a goal, he's had 6 or 7 possessions, and starting to look like that if he can lift his form, he'll be fantastic for the club.
Otten's on the ball up against Burton. A big Spider tried to pluck it out of the air, but he was unsuccessful. Daffy had it for a moment. Otten's on all fours, does really well. Gives it off to Tivendale. He's a left-footed goal. He's 52 out. He goes long in towards full forward and taken over the line as Harrison leaves the ground for the Tigers.
Yeah, they're ringing the changes down there.
Craig Bitterscombe coming on.
Tivendale's done some exciting things, hasn't he? Moves well, moves across the ground well, and a good long raking left foot kick.
Here's Clayton on the outer side, looking towards Scholl again, pushes it down in front. Grant slaps it back towards Simpson, spirals a punt, it's high in towards full forward, and there's the player who's just come onto the ground.
That is a terrific mark in front of the pack. Their eyes on the footy. Well done. Great courage.
Craig Bitterscombe, that'll do his confidence the world of good as Knights just pops a little 9-iron over the top. He wanted, well, he's going to get away with it. Lionel Proctor, who's also on the ground. Proctor is given the benefit of the doubt on centre wing. Short again to Bitterscombe. Claim, but gets his kick under pressure. And the mark is taken by Bell.
Certainly need to use the ball into their forward 50 a lot better than that, Richmond, and wasted opportunity there.
Proctor again. So he's picking up possessions. Oh, David King.
It just seem a little bit confused at the moment, the Tigers, whether to go short or to go long. They're going short when they should go long, and they're going long when they should go short.
Knights gives it to Ottens. The big man goes towards the key half forward spot. Smashed down towards Blakey, hurriedly gets it onto his boot, but didn't look where he's kicking. Straight onto the chest of Gaspar. The Tigers have got to within 18 points. And Richmond have been, should I say, the Kangaroos have been able to answer. Pickett was injured early, he's back.
That was a pretty good decision, that just that short kick there, because he did look up and see that there was absolutely no one back there. There was about 4 Kangaroos players, so he just elected to kick it to Dragicevic, who's probably just outside his distance.
Yes, gets, and he might rue that kick too, although it is socket off the ground towards Clayton. He elects to do the shepherding work, and Carey comes cruising through. Gets them out of the danger zone. It finds Hewitt. Evan Hewitt pops it over the top. Look out, Anthony Stevens. You've got to go back to Hewitt. And he does. Another one finding Brent Harvey. Harvey goes long in towards full forward. Strong mark taken by Lee Colbert. And that's Shannon Grant. And that's the sort of form that saw Shannon Grant finish third in the club championship last year.
He just got Chaffee out of the way. Chaffee made a good effort to spoil it. See, Shannon Grant is a very good overhead mark for his size. He's a terrific ground player, very skillful, but he also is pretty good over his head. Did have a lot of space down there also to work into, and he should really kick this goal.
He's kicking from the right side because he's a left footer.
Has 19 for the season. Oh, he's given that a bit of a tug.
Just had a steam up coming in to kick that, didn't he? Like he was actually running quite fast when he made contact with the ball in. Well, that's quite a good thing. Whether he just needs to be a bit more composed when he's kicking for goal from that close, Ruzi.
Yeah, certainly. He did look at the momentum going very quickly. And there's Danny Frawley on the phone to Dragicevic. Yeah, just asking why he kicked at the Kangaroos opponent. 24
points is the margin. That was the margin at quarter time, so they've been unable to make any impression. Colbert short to Carey. He in turn finding Clayton. Shane Clayton is still outside 50. Not going directly home. It's a centering ball in towards half forward. Anthony Stevens is away to the left for one behind.
Yeah, well crumbed by Stevens there, but went for the left foot torpedo. So not often you see the torpedo punt for goal. These are critical, the kick-outs for Richmond. They really haven't got a lot of drive out of their kick-outs so far, and they're always going short, Plugger. And as you said earlier on the game, the problem with going short is you're really locked into one option, one side of the ground, and the next kick has to be a long kick.
Campbell for his 7th kick for the game. Finding Chaffee, who looks towards centre wing. They need another couple before half time. They've got a couple of minutes to do it. Carey got the call from Blakey in front of Hilton. Colbert gave him one too, but he is ignored. Instead, he goes to the outer side. Now an opportunity for Aaron James. If it sits, he's in business. James is 60 metres out. He goes short. That's okay. Mark is going to be paid to Hilton. He'll be kicking from 50. He thought about James short. Not confident. He goes back and goes bang in towards goal. Again, the numbers are there with the Kangaroos. And Wayne Carey takes the mark. Nick, news on Winston Abraham.
Yeah, he's just come up for a change of boots. I've noticed that a couple of guys have just begun to lose their footing just a little bit at crucial times. He's the first to actually come off and change his boots, though.
There was a lot of rain early in the week up here in Sydney, so the ground for the Swans boys during the week was pretty soft during training. So perhaps they've misjudged and gone for the moulded stops instead of the screw-ins. Shannon
Motlop wearing 44 sees it over the line.
And Richmond are getting plenty of the football at the moment. They're disposed 133 to Richmond 119, and also inside 50s 24 to North Melbourne and 22 to Richmond. So they're certainly getting a lot of the football, but just their delivery into the forward line, and more important, I think their decision making at the moment has been pretty poor when they go forward.
Yeah, Ben Harrison just getting worked on down here too, guys. Obviously coming back, he's just a bit tight at the moment. They've been working on him for 5-10 minutes now.
Yeah, as you say, back this week and spent some time on the bench early on. Ottens. The kick had to have pinpoint accuracy about it. Nick Daffy, bang, gone. But he couldn't get a clean kick at it. And away comes Pickett. Lionel Proctor was down there as well. He goes wide to the outer side. Cameron will sock off the ground. Gains probably 15-20 metres and the boundary line.
Once again, Plugger going forward. Just a very congested Richmond forward line at the moment. The Kangaroos seem to be getting a lot of numbers back down there.
Yeah, well, they're very good at that. Very good at swapping the numbers around North Melbourne. They really need to get the ball in a bit quicker, Richmond, and I just think that's what happens when you play around the boundary here at the SOG too much. You really need to be up and down pretty much the middle of the ground here at the SOG, because it's very easy for opposition sides to flood the defence.
is the young man from South Warrnambool who was huffing and puffing a few minutes ago, Leon Cameron. He wanted Benny Gale. He didn't get him. Instead, he got Gasper at the back of the pack. Hollander's there as well. Again, the defence standing firm. Pickett comes away. One bounce. He eludes the tackle. He's got to get round Hilton. Now, he knows Rory Hilton pretty well from earlier on in the day. Simpson eventually wobbles it towards the centre of the ground. Gee, there was some holding on there.
He used his body very well there, Shannon Grant. And in the end, Chaffee just sort of dragged him to the ground.
The battle of the number sixes. Shannon Grant's kick in towards half forward. He wanted the lead of Colbert. It was not to be.
A good mark by Callaway. And he's been a good player for Richmond this year. Just had his colours lowered probably tonight by Craig Scholl.
It's Andrew Callaway finding Gasper.
Once again, we'll see Richmond pushing to that outer side wing. Really, they should be looking towards the middle of the ground with that kick-off half-back.
8-9 plays 4-8. Gale in towards half-forward. Bowden copped a bit of a shove from Blakey. Blakey will give it away, and he does. Again, this defence stands firm. Pickett goes to the outer side. Kangaroos have got the numbers. Shannon Grant's got the football. Swings it in towards the centre. Scholl is clear now. Around the body he goes, bending it towards Carey. Wasn't a good kick. Was not a good kick at all, and Gasper will make him pay. A floating punt kick is also not very pretty towards Bowden. He tried to get it out the back door. Look at Blakey. He had to beat 3 there, and he's almost locked it up. Trying to sneak away was Bitterscombe. He couldn't do so. And there will be a bounce, but that was well done initially by Blakey. 3 against 1, and he did it.
Yeah, well done, Sandy. You called it correctly. There was 3 Richmond players, and Johnny Blakey dived on the ball, but did it very smart. Instead of dragging the ball under, we see him jump on it here, pretends to get it out, dives on it again, and just waited for his teammates to arrive. Fantastic play, and he's been outstanding tonight, John Blakey.
Knights could have been initially taken high. Burton can't get away with it. The runner's been given some directions too from the Tigers.
Looks like Lee Colbert just coming off for a bit of a spell also.
Yep, that's interesting. And coming on is Troy Makepeace wearing number 35. Bowden's hand pass, okay. Off towards Hilton, who kicks high towards the 50. McCartney jostling, hustling and bustling, pushes in front of Harvey, and again open. 1.5 minutes remaining.
Colbert just sitting down having a rest.
Well done by Jason McCartney there too. Just held his body in front of Holland and didn't give him a chance to run at the football there.
Burton edged out. Tivendale couldn't take it. Pickett tries to prevent a little toe poke away. Here goes Harvey. Well, he had nothing up forward, so again he just blazed away a bit, and Ottens was there and quite happy to receive it. Kicks back towards centre wing, taken by Lionel Proctor.
They really need to change direction here and go to the other side of the ground, because North Kangaroos players just queuing up down that line.
Proctor's kick is good, and he finds Holland. Been fairly quiet, just 5 kicks so far. Holland goes long and direct in towards full forward, and misread by a couple of players, but certainly not by Rory Hilton.
It just seemed, I think it was Makepeace, was
Yeah,
it? Came in there from the side.
Yeah.
And completely missed the ball. As we watch it here, just coming in from the side. Nah, thanks for coming, and see you later. And a good mark there, terrific mark from Rory Hilton.
Gee, this is an important goal for the Tigers. 40 seconds from siren time at half-time, and he's got it.
Yeah, that is a very important goal. Like, they're just within striking distance. They just don't seem to look like they have the avenue to goal up there. It was a good mark by Hilton.
Good mark, kept his eyes on the ball, and a much needed goal, as you said, for Richmond, and just keeps him in touch. Still 19 points behind, but certainly a lot better than 25, Sandy.
Yeah, they're thereabouts, and we know how the Kangaroos can finish. 19 points, approaching half-time. Hilton gets his first goal. Been a much better quarter by the Tigers. They've kicked 4 goals.
Yeah, guys, difficult to see from where I'm sitting, but it does look as if they're working on Colbert's knee there. They've spent a lot of time, and the doctor's been giving him a lot of attention there.
Well, had knees that have been pretty well documented. Let's hope he's going to be okay. Simpson gives it to Pickett. Close to siren time, towards the dashing Makepeace. Blakey's there as well on the outer wing, and John Blakey has it there. Around he goes, onto the left foot, somewhat ungainly. Knights has got to beat a couple. Hewitt smashed it clear. Ripped down towards Bell. Needs someone going past. The Spider can cover himself in glory, and he does.
Well, that's a great goal from Spider, right on just before half-time, with a good fella just loping through centre-half forward.
He's a cult hero.
Yeah, look, wobbly old kick there from Spider. Probably the best I can come up with for the...
More commonly known as a mongrel punt.
But let's have a look at it here. Just ambling through, turned the ball over a couple of times. Nice helicopter punt, but certainly a crucial goal for the Kangaroos, and one that the Tigers really didn't need to let go through.
We've got a second left in this half. But that could really hurt, because the Tigers had done so well to try and peg back that lead. Spider Burton had other ideas, and Danny just a shake of the head. Oh my giddy aunt, what have we got here at half-time? Dennis Pagan perhaps a little more methodical.
Just a wry old smile from Danny Frawley there too, Sandy. He'd be shaking.
It's still just the 4 kicks as Spider Burton gets the second half going. Tried a little toe poke, did Spider. Was ineffective. Craig Bitterscombe at the bottom of the pack. Started on the bench. Good to see him on now as Chappie gets a high ball up towards the half-forward line and well chopped off.
That's Lee Colbert there.
Playing in defence.
Terrific mark. That was a very high kick in from Chaffee and kept his eyes on the footy. Well done.
He goes to the outer side and finds Simpson, but Gale's got his name all over this. But he couldn't take the mark. The door may open for Stevens. That was who it was meant for. It will come back, however, and I think Gale will be given the free kick. Benny's in the back pocket.
Once again, they're just going straight back down that line. This is better, getting it in the centre, getting in the corridor and changing direction and playing on.
Broderick it was who got it to Tawney. Colbert, eyes on this one again, drops back. And is going to be paid the mark, slipped out of his chest as he hit the ground.
Good to see Lee Colbert involved early on in play, only a minute into play and already taken a couple of grabs, so that'll be great for his confidence.
Back towards half forward, Evan Hewitt was a target, Scholl at the back. Now here's a 3-on-1 situation here, and Gale juggles, holding it in front of Stevens.
Now this is where they've got to get on quickly. Just really take a risk now out of the back. That's good out to Callaway on the wing. Now he can hopefully run with it.
Well, Clayton gives chase. Kellaway gets away. Accurate to Knights. It's okay. Usually likes to get on with the job pretty smartly, Matty Knights. 55 metres out. The lead is on from Rogers. Poor kick. Normally very good, but that was a poor one.
Yeah, renowned for his high skill level, and gee, just a real poor kick there on behalf of Matthew Knights.
So Anthony Stevens flying the Shepparton flag, goes to the outer side. He's got Peter Bell, who wants Winston Abraham, and finds him on the 50.
This certainly is within range from Winnie, because he is a beautiful kick for goal and kicks the ball a long way. Fancies his chances too, by the look of it, doesn't he? He's going to pull the socks up.
Going back, pulled the socks up. He's certainly not going to pass this off, that's for sure. And a little bit quiet in the first half, just with the 5 possessions, but this is going to be a big kick if he nails this. 21
goals this season to Winston Abraham, kicking from 55. He's gone for the doctor, and the doctor is located to the right of the goals. In fact, he's in the stand, so that ball was out of bounds on the floor.
It's a bit obviously disappointing that if you're going to go back, which is fair enough, but you really need to make a better fist of it than that.
I think he just tried to kick it a bit too hard and it's just skewed off the side of his foot on that occasion, but it would have made the distance. It's gone out on the full, but yeah, just a little bit disappointing at the end there.
I don't know what's happening here.
I reckon he's kicked that when he was over the line and play had been called on, so he was out of bounds. So they've thrown it in. Here's Abraham again, close to the line, and again over. So another throw in the right forward pocket.
Richmond really need to get a couple of quick ones here and keep themselves in the game. It's very important for them to get the scoreboard ticking over.
There's a couple of Kangaroos boys. We can't find that dummy player on the bench yet.
We didn't see Nick there, though, as Clayton smashes towards the line, taking it away from Craig Bitterscombe.
Thank you.
I just hope, Nick, that they don't make the mistake of putting the dummy on the field.
The Kingsley Lang makepeace, Shannon Motlop.
One of the mistakes they've made so far, they've just continued to go short in defence. Richmond, I really think they need to break the play, get over the lines and kick the ball long from the back 50.
Gale gives it to Gaspar. He in turn finds Tivendale in towards Knights in the middle, off to the running Campbell. One bounce, two bounces. He's 65 out, ships it high. That's not a good kick from a man who has the talent that Wayne Campbell
Well, they set it up well. Campbell got the ball in the middle of him, took a couple of bounces, probably should have really got the ball off there. His forwards had led for him, but he decided to hold on to it, and they had to double back, and at the end there really was nowhere for him to go.
Well, it's not the only one whose disposal is questionable. It's going to finish with Hilton taking the mark.
It was a bad kick, wasn't it, from McCartney coming out of defence. Just hit Bitterscombe, I think it was, on the chest, and Bitterscombe did get it on quickly, and there's the benefits, although it's a pretty tough angle. You would think Hilton would play on, I was going to say, but he's actually kicked it to Rogers. And that's a better angle, a little bit further out, probably the smart play.
Rogers 1 goal in the second quarter. 27 for the season. Matty Rogers. Chance to give the Tigers the first goal of the second half, but that too is a floater finding the woodwork.
It's getting very monotonous saying that Richmond have had their chances, but certainly they really could be a lot closer at this particular stage. There's another goal gone begging, and another one that they should have kicked.
Pickett ambles out of defence. Couple of bounces, 3 in fact. He's almost stopped to a walk. Now goes towards centre wing. Ottens. It was almost as if he pinpointed him.
Yeah, wasn't that an interesting piece of play? The Richmond zone just kept on dropping back and allowing Byron Pickett to run about 30 yards from goal. And then he made the decision, oh, that's a shocking kick from Ottens.
I think there must be some sort of colour blindness here at the moment. Harvey through the centre now. Let's get some sanity back into this game. But his kick too is astray. He wanted the little terrier in Calthorpe. He didn't find him. Leon Cameron has other ideas. Leon goes to the outer side. Chaffee is there. Looks towards centre wing. Kangaroos have the numbers. Tawney's got to beat a couple. He did pretty well. He persists, but Stevens and Co are still there. Evan Hewitt almost lost his footing. Recovered. And now it's boomed in towards Gaspar. That was by Winnie. No one able to take it. Penetrating hand pass was meant for Harvey. Kellaway, well, he overran it and lost it. What an untidy passage of play.
I think Brendan Gale's down back behind play. Looks like he might have done an elbow or, wrist or something like that. He doesn't look too good at all. He's coming.
Oh, dear.
Oh, there's a wobbly old arm there, Plugger. I don't know whether.
Oh, yeah.
That doesn't
look real good at all, does
too
it?
flash. Just hope he hasn't broken that forearm.
So they can ill afford to lose a big man of his ilk. Aaron James will be the player that will come on. I'm sure Nick McCardle will bring us up to date with that, but it does not look good for Brendan Gale.
Yeah, their run of shocking injuries just seems to continue. It's been a real horror year from that point of view.
Unbelievable. Harvey has kicked the goal in the meantime.
Well, they just manufactured a goal there, the Kangaroos, as Brendan Gale was coming off the ground, and if we see him there, the doctor's having a real good look at that. Maybe the inside of the elbow there or the forearm. But Harvey took the opportunity to kick the goal. Just a ruck throw in there, just picked it up, and that's what a good rover does. And he has been very good. 16 possessions and 1 goal, so he's had an outstanding game so far.
Gale just chatting with the medical staff and having a look at that. You wonder if perhaps he may not have suffered a break. Let's hope that he hasn't.
More towards the elbow, Sandy, that they're looking at now.
Yeah, look at that. They're just doing a couple of tests there. So, Nick, keep an eye on that, and we'll hopefully see him back. They need him because Harvey has just kicked the Kangaroos' first goal in this second half. Shannon Grant tried to get it out of the middle. Can't do so. So 69 plays 39, 30 points the margin. Gale continues to sit it out.
Yeah, let's hope that's not as bad as perhaps what it first looked like. So he might have hyperextended his elbow. looked like when he went back into that contest with Carey and Gasper that he actually made contact with Gasper on the way through with his elbow, so it mightn't be as bad as what we first thought.
Burton out of the middle, went towards Pickett. It was Bowden, however, who picks it up and gives it to Broderick. He tumbles a puck to half forward. Oh, the Kangaroos had the numbers. They lost it. Now, and James should make them pay. Confusion reigns.
Well, Corey McKernan probably did the right thing there, actually. As the ball was bombed in long by Broderick, he actually left James and went to the contest. And that's the second goal, I think, from James, which is pretty good return. He only came on the second quarter. But just watch it here. Broderick kicks it long into the forward line, and McKernan's actually left his opponent. Probably needed to either take the mark or spoil. And once it went behind him, James just sat back, and that's goal number 2. So he has been effective since he's come on the ground.
Gale still receiving treatment on that right elbow. Looks as though he may well come back.
Sandy, that's what they're saying. That's what the doctor's saying. He hyperextended his elbow in that. They're thinking it's not a break. They're going to tape it up and see how it goes.
Blakey to pick it down to the forward line, and Spider Burton, he lopes towards goal. Let's go with a long bomb, does the Spider-Man. But off hands, one behind.
It was a good play by Spider. He just went to the ruck contest there with Ottens in the centre, and then as soon as it went down, he pushed forward and created an option. And a bit of pain there, Benny Gale, but he's certainly a warrior and a workhorse, and if at all he can get back on, I'm sure he will.
Chaffee takes the kick out. Oh, that is a shocking kick to John Blakey.
That is a shocking kick. I don't know where else he thought that was going. John Blakey was standing there for about 5 minutes.
He might cover himself in glory here with a goal, might he? Away goes John Blakey. The old man of the game has done it. And I mean that in the nicest possible way, Mr. and Mrs. Blakey.
Well, I'll tell you what, his wife Kelly will be home with the VCR just pushing play and record, because John will want to have a good look at that one when he gets off the plane tomorrow. Let's have a look at it. Just an outstanding. Rory Hilton, very bad job there of guarding the mark. Let John go. Then too easy just to run around him. One bounce, steps 55 metres, and Johnny Blakey's kicked a lot of goals like that over the years. Fantastic effort for goal number 3.
Gale still on the bench. John Blakey, coming into today's game, had 4 goals for the season. Already tonight, he's got 3. He's enjoying this, and I'm sure the Blakey family around the country will be as well. Danny Frawley not enjoying it quite as much. What can the Tigers do? Greg Tivendale rips it out of the centre, goes down towards James again. He's got a chance here, Aaron James. Delightful one-handed pickup, but then ruined it with a kick that slews over the boundary line on the full.
Just rushed a little bit, probably had a little bit more time than what he thought. No talk from his teammates in his general vicinity there. They should let him know that he had a couple of yards, and he probably could have made a bit better meal of that one.
So the old firm come away. King, Stevens, Blakey and co. Bowden did well. Effected the spoil. Locks it up on centre wing.
Yeah, that was a good spoil. Just a little bit too short, the kick from Stevens, trying to give his mate another possession. It's good to see Anthony Stevens really working his way into the game, though. He's had 10 possessions, and this will do his confidence the world of good, and hopefully the second half he can continue to rack up a few possessions.
Oh, yeah, they get him back and firing. Shannon Grant went down behind play, picks himself up as Bowden goes towards half forward. Hilton is lurking, can't take it. And McCartney went straight for the boundary line, and he's got away with it. Oh, dear.
Lee Colbert's gone back on Aaron James too, and McKernan's gone on to Holland. So they've made a bit of a change there, Dennis Pagan. Obviously a bit concerned that James, with his 2 goals, starting to give McKernan a little bit of the run around.
11-10 plays 6-9 with under 12 minutes, 3rd quarter remaining. The Tigers can just get so close, but that's it. Here's McCartney again towards Carey. Clayton will get the more favourable bounce. Shane Clayton is clear. Calthorpe screaming for it. Clayton might go all the way. It's again a kick that's going to drop short. Calthorpe pounces on the pack. There's been a push, and there will be a free kick going the way of Richmond. The kick in wasn't good, so Kellaway will defend to the outer side. Chaffee, the man, well targeted towards Rogers on the outer wing. And that's good to see, isn't it, Nick?
Certainly is. Yeah, he's just been for a bit of a run, Ben Gale, along the boundary line. It looks good for Richmond.
He can run all right. I hope he can use the arm. Broderick. From a standing start, he pumps it long in towards full forward. Peter Bell gets it just inside the line and comes to Blakey. He drops it. Tigers again with the opportunity through Bowden. First one way, then the other. In two minds. Kicks towards the half-forward line. Knights is the man.
Yeah, this is the one they've got to get in quickly here. Matthew Knights has either got to play on. He's kicking it short. Terrible kick.
Daffy left it behind. Carey stands at the back and says, thank you very much. I'm clearing out of here. And that's exactly what he does.
That's a couple of occasions Matthew Knights had possession of the ball and really could have made the Kangaroos pay. And we know he is a very highly skilled player, but just a couple of very important times that his disposals hasn't been quite up to scratch, and really could have wanted for better results than what's actually happened.
Another one is Ben Holland, guys. He finished the first half on the bench, and he's really struggling to find the footy in this third quarter.
Just 6 kicks for the game for Holland. Throwing on centre wing meantime. Harvey to ground. Little toe poke to Shannon Grant. Finds Peter Bell. Bell towards the 50. Too much height there, and it's a nice mark taken by Royce Vardy. They can start something up here with Leon Cameron. To the outer side and Joel Bowden. But look who's with him. Blakey. Could have been pushed. Play on, says the umpire. Rory Hilton does. Towards Holland. He may get a chance here. No, it's chopped off. Pushed back beautifully. McKernan gives it away. Pickett comes streaming out of defence. Look at him go. 1 and 2 bounces. Holds it for a long time and then directs traffic up towards the half-forward line. And the mark is taken by Lang.
It was well done on the half-back flank by Lee Cole, but he really charged that footy down back. Grabbed hold of it and shoveled it out to Corey McKernan. Onto Byron Pickett, and a good decision there. Adam Lang hasn't had a lot of game time so far and should kick this goal.
The young man from Sturt in South Australia kicks from 46 metres and he kicks a goal. Well, goals from Blakey, Lang and Harvey, while Richmond have only answered with 1 plugger from Aaron James in this quarter, and therein lies their problem.
Certainly does. They're just struggling to find goal kickers. Had a few opportunities, but also had some chances that have really could have ended up with better results. Just poor disposal and a couple of other quite costly mistakes that really their scoreline should have been a little bit better. Probably could have been 9-6 instead of 6-9, and they could have been a lot closer than what they are.
From the centre bounce, Ottens plucks it out of the air, kicks to half forward. No one at home, and McCartney takes it. Came down from nil originally to play at the highest level. Has done pretty well.
Just haven't had a real focal point down there, Richmond, tonight. They've really struggled to find someone that can kick 4 or 5 goals for them.
Well, Daffy gives it away to Wayne Campbell. Maybe he can find something. This time it's Harrison. He looks towards half-forward. Colbert's big in the pack, but he couldn't take it. They had a number of them there flying high. Shannon Grant, if it sits, he may in business. Clayton urging him on. Now forced to do the shepherding work. Grant gets clear, kicks towards Scholl. Gets away from Vardy. Goes down towards the 50. Harvey just gave a little nudge. It was noticed, and he knew that he'd infringed.
Well, you wonder what Danny Frawley would give from Matthew Richardson playing tonight, rather, because he really has been, he'd be a key for him down there. And just, I think at the end of the year, that's when you really start to miss the champion players. You can play on adrenaline and enthusiasm for only so long, and then eventually the talent level of most sides catch up. And I think just tonight, Richardson's loss has really been felt.
Tivendale's kick goes towards centre wing, and there's Paul Broderick.
But they'll keep going. I mean, they'll fight this game out. There's no question. The Tigers, under Danny Frawley, they just continually work hard and work hard. So they'll certainly fight this game right out.
Big couple of weeks they're spending on the road. Sydney here tonight. They head to the Wacker next week with Fremantle playing host. Then it's back to the MCG for St Kilda. They finished their last couple of games in Melbourne, but their final one is against Carlton. And who knows, that could well decide their fate as far as a spot in the final 8 is concerned.
Yeah, you just hope that all the hard work in the start of the year doesn't go to waste, because they really deserve to be playing in the finals this year, Richmond. So really hope over the next 5 weeks they can pinch a couple of wins, because they certainly have been outstanding this year, the Tigers.
Shannon Grant running the boundary line. Gets a bit of a sniff at the goals, but pushes it straight across the face. Yes, they've been one of the success stories, really, of the season, with Danny Frawley coming in to the coach's box. I think also you could perhaps look at Geelong, especially early on, with Mark Thompson. Both a breath of fresh air in that division. On to the outer side now. Colbert is lurking here. He's 55 metres out. Let's go a long bomb, and Otten stands alone.
Yeah, now this is the kick. Just really got to make something out of this. Really got to start taking some risks from down back, running it through the lines and working it up to their forwards.
Holland tries James, and his second attempt is good. Proctor out in front, gives the hand pass away to Daffy. Off he goes to Broderick. This looks more promising. Rogers is in an embrace down there with David King. They appear to be getting quite close. King comes away with it. Kicks back towards the half-back line. Pickett. He's got Clayton lurking in the middle if he wants him. Here comes the kick, and here comes Clayton out on centre wing.
He's become a very important player for him, Shane Clayton, on the wing. Just pretty hard to match up on. He's quite tall and he's very athletic. Great kick and great mark from Scholl. That's fantastic play for the Kangaroos.
Scholl really has been the focal point up forward tonight. OK, Blakey has kicked 3, but Scholl has 2. Carey has just the 1, and that was, I think, perhaps the first goal of the game.
He's had 7 marks too, Craig Scholl. Really like the way he's led up forward. He's really leading hard and getting the rewards. From
55 metres, Scholl going for that little extra just away to the left and just marked inside. Ottens is away. Dragicevic is in the back pocket. Six minutes left. Dragicevic changes direction, heads to the other side, finding Chaffee. In turn, Harrison on half back towards Rory Hilton now. Hilton in front of Jason McCartney. Centering ball. Chaffee's followed play down. Wider to Holland. He's in the middle. He thought about playing on, and now he's told to go, and luck's a fortune. Yeah, he's got 50, but by gee, you don't have to be dead to be stiff, player.
Yeah, I reckon that's a tough call, that one.
Lee Cole, what he was doing there, he was waiting because there was a Richmond player coming around behind Ben Holland.
Yeah.
I think it was Nick Daffy, wasn't it? And obviously he was going to play on, so very unlucky, Cole. But
there's nothing else he could really do, is there? He could see the Daffy coming past for the handball, and he really just didn't have to hold on him for that second or two longer. But still, to be called a 50, I reckon was a pretty brave decision by the umpire.
Ben Holland.
And probably got what it deserved at the end of the day.
Chips away behind. Didn't look comfortable in the approach, did he?
He just poked at it too. As we see here, the replay, just holding him up.
I don't think it was 50 there.
That's cruel.
Very unlucky.
However, David King waits for the ball to be returned.
And you look how deep these zones are. It's Brendan Gale doesn't look like he's going to come back on. He's certainly got the dressing gown on and obviously very sore. But you watch these kickouts, you look how deep the Richmond zones are. The pockets on both sides are completely full. And King's going to do that every single time, as Pickett has done all night. He'll just play on and get it 70, 80 metres away from goal.
He does it even when he marks the ball around in the half-back line. Just about every time he gives you 60 metres, doesn't he, David King? He plays on, he runs with the ball and kicks it long. And the good thing about being a forward, if you're playing with David King, is you know that the ball is going to come in long and quick at you.
Well, McKernan and Makepeace both featuring in that passage of play, and here he is again. Makepeace wobbling a punt down towards the forward line. Harvey bending it back. Don't tell me. It's a behind.
Yeah, and that's with their kickouts at the moment. Really, the Tigers have got to do a better effort in their zones, because if they're going to leave so much space in those pockets, then King and Pickett are going to continually play on, get themselves 20 or 30 metres away from goal, kick it long down the wing, and we've seen the result in about 10 seconds. It's gone from one end of the ground to the other, and Harvey had a shot for goal. So it's something they really need to address.
Kangaroos out to hold their top 4 spot. Lost to the Tigers, and They could well find themselves out of the 8. Smashed clear of Gasper by Carey, and we've got a throw in.
It's been an interesting contest, Plugger. Have you seen the Gasper versus Carey? That really, neither of them had a great influence on the game, have they?
No, they've both been a bit quiet, I guess, and that's probably worked in the favour of Gasper because, I mean, that's what he's there. He's the defender. He's there to keep Wayne Carey pretty quiet. And really, you look at it, sort of almost about 5 minutes to go in the 3rd quarter, and with Wayne Carey having only 13 possessions, if you had told him that before the start of the game, I guess you'd been pretty happy if you were Darren Gasper.
Tivendale pinged. Carey.
This is not outside his range.
56 metres.
Oh.
Shouldn't say it. Perfect pass.
I think we've just got to not give him a rap, don't we? Because every time we give him a chance of a rap.
But I think, Plugger, the key is there. We couldn't see that from up here, but obviously he's gone for the torpedo off the side of the boot deliberately. That's what a great player he is. He's deliberately kicked that off the side of his boot. Not many players can do that. Saw that player bleeding out the corner of his eye, being Adam Lang, and a terrific effort from Wayne Carey.
And not many blokes can keep a straight face such as Kangaroos. Golly.
What the point that's really emphasised there is, if you're a forward, you must be in front, because if that does happen, if it skews off the side of your foot, you're in front, you're always going to be a lot better chance of marking the ball.
Lang for his 2nd.
Good pass, Wayne
It's
Carey.
going to hurt for the Richmond Footy Club now.
Yeah, you're right, Plugger. It's amazing the number of times we see what happens with the torpedo punt. If you get onto it, obviously it's going to go through the goals or thereabouts, particularly the way Wayne Carey kicks it. But if you don't get onto it, it does slew off the side of the boot. And the number of times over the years you've seen a forward just take that little step in front, as we do here with Lang. Just watch him. He just gets 1 yard. That's all he needs. And the ball just drops dramatically at the end of its flight and just drops straight into Adam Lang's chest.
2 to Lang. Carey marshals his troops. 43 points is now the margin in favour of the Kangaroos.
Anthony Knights has been very quiet again in this 3rd quarter, and he really needs to get hold of the footy and get some drive through the middle of the ground for Richmond.
Burton gave it out towards Stevens. Carey was surrounded. Lang's under the pump. Make pieces in there as well. Comes wider, and well done by Motlop, who gives it to Simpson. On all fours was Abraham. Oh, dump. Play on is the call, and so they do. In towards Carey. Got a touch to it, and one behind the result.
Just a tough one there, whether you shepherd being Wayne Carey or whether you let that one go through. And there's a big discussion going on between the goal umpire and the field umpire. I think he might be, Plugger.
He's playing a goal, isn't he?
He is. Well, well, well.
Well, Wayne, I don't think there's any doubt whatsoever that Wayne Carey's touched that ball on the way through.
Kellaway can't believe it. Gasper is exasperated.
I don't see why the field umpire had to come in that case. Let's just watch it here.
The field umpire from...
Well, Carey knows he's touched it.
Exactly.
Oh,
the field umpire, if we see where he is, he has got no hope of seeing if that. He's looking. All he's looking at is Darren Gasper's back there.
Well, Gasper, either Gasper's punched that or Carey's punched it through. That has clearly been touched through.
The goal
right in front
umpire
of his eyes.
was in a perfect position. Why could he not see it?
But what I don't understand why the field umpire would run down. And it looks to me that the field umpire's overruled the goal umpire. I'm not too sure, but
okay, can you just tell me one thing? Who is going to be credited with that goal?
well, that's a
Think about it.
very good question. I think the umpire. What's his name?
Here's Burton in
The
the
goal
middle.
umpire.
Spider goes down towards Motlop. That is unbelievable. And Richmond fans would have cause to be absolutely furious. Stevens, just outside 50. Anthony Stevens will let a long bomb go. Big left footer. Oh, big fly. Carey at the back. Now that is a goal. That is a goal.
Well, they've got it right.
Looks a bit like John Cleese, really.
Well, judging by that last decision, it could very well be, Sandy.
Basil, Seville.
They have been a bit. Just watch here, and I picked it up. This may even be a free kick to Richmond. Watch this Kangaroos player come in. I don't think he touches this ball. That was, I think it was Brent Harvey, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Or Bell coming across. So once again, a little bit unlucky, but well done. Good opportunist goal from Wayne Carey.
The call for extra goal umpires grows by the minute. But he got it right on that occasion.
Just watch this Kangaroos player here. Basically just jumped straight into the back. It was Peter Bell, straight into the back of the Richmond player. Probably didn't have a bearing on the contest, but technically it was a free kick. So the Tigers, Plugger, the last 2 goals, very unlucky.
Very, very unlucky. And we've seen it last night, in the game last night, that the ball actually hit the goalpost, and the goal umpire missed it too, didn't he? And
shaved the post for a goal.
Shaved the post, yeah, and clearly a point. The goal umpire got it wrong again.
I'm not too sure how he could have possibly missed that, though. That's a mystery.
That happened right in front of his eyes, that one, didn't it? Anyway, it's done now.
He could be having a bit of a drive next Saturday for a game. Who knows? Anyway, play goes on. Bell away from Campbell. Holland smashed out of his hands. Harrison under the pump. So somewhat directly goes straight to the boundary line.
Just a couple of players for the Tigers have been a little bit quiet. You mentioned Matthew Knight, but also Wayne Campbell just hasn't been able to get into the game. He's been tagged early by Simpson. And I notice now he's actually gone on to Bell, as we see Brendan Gale coming back on the ground. So that's an interesting move too for Danny Floyd. If at all he was injured, you'd think at this stage, being 9 goals down, that they may leave him off the ground. And
especially just a couple of minutes remaining in the quarter. However, Tivendale's kick goes up towards the centre, and a strong mark taken by McCartney. Hilton on the mark. McCartney goes in towards the middle. King. Pick yourself up, David. It's your 150th to Lee Colbert. Colbert draws the player in Knights and then is able to steady himself and spear it into the pocket. Beautifully done to Carey.
Yeah, that's a great kick from Colbert. Just sold the dummy to his Richmond opponent there, ran round, and a great kick to Wayne Carey. We probably thought that at some stage Plugger Carey would go up forward, and he has in this quarter. And this will be goal number 3 if he kicks it.
Yeah, well, it was a good strong grab. Gasper was all over the top of him. But, he's a great kick for goal too, Wayne Carey. So it is a tough pocket here at the SCG. But they call this fella the king. Well, let's see how right they are.
Another wrap. Good on you, Tony.
We're about 0-10 tonight, aren't we?
We're not looking good, I can tell you. Oh, dear.
He doesn't normally miss them, does he?
However, they are threatening to really blow this game apart if they haven't already. 102 plays 46. We really have got the skates on in the last 10 minutes or so, but a couple of goals. Richmond are absolutely unlucky, and really one that, quite frankly, was not a goal. Knights and Shannon Brown. Blakey off the ground.
You mentioned earlier on, Sandy, about last week's defeat against Jess, and I sort of agree with Pluggy. You can probably put one bad defeat behind you, but I really think if the Tigers go down by another 100 points tonight, hopefully they don't, but it's really in danger of breaking. I reckon 2 defeats like that can be really decimating to the confidence of the players. It could really hurt them for the remainder of the year.
Especially when the start of the year they've been so good, and they were a clear 3rd position on the ladder, and everything was going terrific, and all of a sudden, a couple of weeks in football is a very long time, isn't it? Now they are fighting to hold their position in the 8.
Blood rule with under a minute remaining for the quarter. Wayne Campbell, who 8 kicks, 5 hand passes, a couple of marks.
And unfortunately, as the season wears on too, the younger players tend to get a little bit tired, so a lot does fall on the Wayne Campbells and the Matthew Knights and those sort of guys. So as the season wears on, there's more pressure on the senior players, and just hopefully the Tigers can finish off well in this last quarter, because you'd hate to see them with back-to-back 100-point losses. And I'm fearful if that happens, that perhaps with the run home you mentioned, Sandy, with what have we got, Fremantle, St Kilda, Sydney and Carlton, it is a pretty tough run home, so they just need to gain something out of this match.
Tawney smashes it from the bounce, and taken to ground was Knights at the bottom of the pack in those luminescent green boots. As Campbell has a spell. With 3/4 time looming, he can get himself ready for perhaps a big final quarter here on the SCG. Knights around the body. Well out in front of Leon Cameron and Anthony Stevens.
And the Kangaroos have, as we highlighted before the show, haven't finished off well. So I guess Danny Frawley, if anything, would be sitting in the box going, well, we hope the Kangaroos have an ordinary last quarter. I don't think there's any way that the Tigers can win this game, but they certainly can get some pride and respect back in the last quarter.
Lang around the body. Harrison gives chase. He runs out of time. He runs out of room. Danny puts the glasses down for the moment. Oh, this coaching caper, he says to himself.
From down here, but there's no one moving in their forward line.
Let's see what happens in the final quarter, Nick. Thank you for that. As Makepeace loses it, an opportunity for the Tigers through Tivendale down towards the forward line. McKernan couldn't get a handle on it. Locked up at half forward, and the Tigers can't get clear. Pickett and co pouncing on that ball.
It is. I mean, it's a 9-goal game, but the statistics show that Richmond have had 223 possessions, North Melbourne 222, North Melbourne inside 50, 46, and Richmond 40. So statistically, there hasn't been a lot of difference between the two sides other than the scoreboard, which is the most important factor.
Knights has the opportunity now, taken from Tivendale. Gives it off quickly. Campbell's deft little chip only goes a few metres. It finishes with Harrison. He pulls it back, a centering ball now. There's a lot of blue and white there. Daffy is lurking, but it's David King in his 150th game. Steadies it down, combines with Clayton and goes to the outer side of the ground. Here at the SCG, Tawney caught behind. That ball is over the line. We've got to throw in.
I'm just hoping a couple of players have a blind of the last quarter, because we were discussing the votes at 3-quarter time, and without being too critical, it's very hard to find standout players from either side.
It's one of those games where players just don't jump out at you. I mean, John Blakey had a wonderful first quarter where he picked up 9 possessions. Players like Bell and Harvey have been their usual busy selves, but as you say, not a lot on offer.
Certainly for Richmond, I think Leon Cameron's been pretty good down back. His skills have been very good. He's had the ball 18 times. He'd be the best of the Tigers players without question.
Throw in between centre wing and half-back. The Kangaroos are well in control as they look to hold a top 3 or 4 spot. Oh, a little toe poke was almost in danger. I think it came from Spider. Look at Peter Bell. He's just a goer. Cameron around the body. Kept in play, and the mark is taken by Tivendale. On centre wing, Greg Tivendale in towards half forward. They need a big mark, but McCartney has stood firm in defence. Pickett is there as well. Knight's on his hammer. Pickett keeps going towards the line. Bell sees it over with Harvey, and Nick McCardle is down there on the boundary line as well.
Yes, Andy, I think we might have seen the last of Gale tonight. They've just taken the bandages off, and they've started to ice up his elbow, so I don't think we'll see him again.
Thanks, Nick. Leon Cameron looked as though he might have copped one too.
Yeah, no prize for guessing where either, Sandy.
Half forward flank. King loses it. Campbell, a high ball in towards full forward. Stevens it was who came in from the side and smashing it over the line. Leon seems to be okay. Basil signals are behind.
He copped it in the half-forward flank, did he? Sandy, I would have thought the forward pocket more.
I was waiting for you. I could see that mind ticking over. Oh dear. Here's King.
Just the Richmond zones haven't been effective at all tonight. We've noticed at least they've pushed down into the pockets, but they've left an enormous amount of space out on the flanks this time.
Shannon Grant's kick goes towards the middle. It's marked by Ottens. Danny Frawley has some great talent to work with in the coming years, with players like Ottens set to blossom. Campbell's short pass is not a... He hasn't had the best of nights tonight, has he, Wayne Campbell? Simpson intervenes and goes towards Motlop. Well, he has a bit of time for some fancy stuff. In fact, he finished up turning Ottens inside out. Motlop goes towards Shannon Grant. He's clear of Knights. Well, tried to be a little too clever. Wanted to get it onto the dashing Spider Burton, and Spider's under the pump now, but he gets Knights, lays the tackle, not before he gets it away towards Gasper. Gasper's on half back, wobbles a punt kick up towards centre wing. They're doing it somewhat tardily at the moment. Up towards right half forward, a couple of players clashed. Dragicevic came in from the side. Rogers was there as well. Plucked over the back and stolen. That is a mark. Joel Bowden, 25 metres out. Pretty tight angle.
Yeah, it was a good mark from Joel Bowden. Johnny Blake. He did the right thing and got in front, but Bowden just had the run up on him, and it's pretty hard when a defender's in front like this. There's really not much he can do other than allow. Looked like it came off Johnny Blakey's head there too. So perhaps one back for the Tigers that they deserve with a couple of poor decisions in the third quarter.
16 goals this season, none so far tonight. Joel Bowden gets his first.
They need that plugger, don't they? They really need to get some respectability. We're sort of a bit fearful going in that third quarter that they may really get overrun. So let's help for their sake that they can kick 2 or 3 goals in this last quarter.
Yeah, it'd be certainly good for their spirit if they can at least outscore the Kangaroos in this last quarter. I'm not sure whether they can win the game, but it'd certainly be great for their confidence if they can get a few goals and score more goals than North Melbourne this in the last quarter.
Joel Bowden becomes the 6th Richmond player to kick a goal tonight. Ottens gets an awful bounce. Harvey rips it away, gives it across to Stevens, originally coming from Spider Burton towards Shannon Grant. Could have been paid then, but elected to flick it on. Soccer back towards the left half forward flank region, and there's going to be a free kick. In fact, the advantage is going to be paid. Now here's an opportunity for the Tigers. Daffy's got it on the outer side, and he looked up towards Bowden, leads in towards the pocket. Blakey's there with him. Bowden did well, couldn't quite control it, and Hilton sees it over the line.
There's a good contest from both players there. Joel Bowden led out hard. Not a bad kick, probably just a little bit too high, just allowing Johnny Blakey enough time to get back into that contest, and a pretty good spoil in the end.
Harrison jostling. Campbell was at the back. Difficult one to get out. Pickett's very solid to Bell. Back towards centre wing. Clayton in trouble. Gives the hand pass away. Stevens in towards the middle. Shannon Grant now looking to set something up. Spears the pass in towards half forward, and Scholl takes the mark. Well, he's been very good. Shannon Grant drifts down into the pocket. Leaves it, then plays on. He should kick a goal, Shannon Grant. Go for goal, and he does. Too good.
He's had a better second half too, Shannon Grant. Very quiet in the first half, but he's now up to 17 possessions, and he's kicked a goal too. So he's had a better second half. It's good for the young fella. Scholl, as you mentioned, Sandy, he's been outstanding. Went out of the game a little bit in the third quarter, but certainly early on he really provided some target up there for his teammates, and once again he's done that and kicked it down. Carey just looked to actually leave that ball. He went to the marking contest and just looked to purposely take his arms away at the last minute, and Shannon Grant was the recipient of the crumb and kicked a great goal.
The other thing Richmond's got to be very wary of is percentage, because it would appear this season, perhaps more than any other season, that it is going to play a vital part come the end of the home and away season.
Yeah, that's certainly the case, and they can ill afford to let too many more goals through. They're pretty precarious at the moment, only 96% going into this game, and when you compare that to most of the other teams, apart from probably Geelong in the top 8, they're certainly a long way behind. So they're really, at this stage, it's a full game behind in percentage, because they have got a pretty poor percentage, and this is certainly not going to help.
Geelong's saving grace could be that draw early in the season. So a bounce just out of the middle. Burton and Ottens down towards Simpson. A high ball to half forward. Smashed clear. Stevens tried to flick it on. Motlop was there as well. Motlop did pretty well. Fetchnet comes to Peter Bell. Gets away from Knights. Lovely kick. Beautiful kick, and Scholl will shoot for goal.
Yeah, that was a magnificent kick right across his body there. Scholl, once again, Scholl leading up the field. And a great kick from Bell. And I guess he's probably been the most consistent player over the night, Bell.
He's probably been the best on ground tonight. That's his 26th possession, and every time he's got the ball, he's pretty much done something with it, hasn't he? And certainly that was the case there, where he found Scholl on the lead.
Number 3 for Scholl.
I think he's missed it.
Yes, he has.
Pushed it right.
Silence in the blue and white army behind the goals.
He really could have 5 or 6 goals tonight, Plugger. He's kicked 2 goals, 3, and I think he might have given a couple more short passes. There's Benny Gale there just with a big bandage and ice on his elbow, but Scholl could have had a much better return than he's had.
Yeah, we said earlier in the night he was a noted goal kicker, and he just certainly has given a bit of life to the Kangaroos forward line tonight. He's led well, marked well. He's just kicking for goals, probably let him down a little bit tonight. Could quite easily have 5 goals.
Tivendale, Broderick, Dragicevic, Cameron, they all combine to Rogers.
That's a much better passage of play. We're a bit critical of the Tigers for going wide for most of the game, and that's one of the few times they've brought the ball back through the middle corridor. And that's the result. When you're in the middle of the ground, you can either pick where you want to go, to the right of the goals, to the left of the goals, or straight up the middle to the leading target.
Matty Rogers for his 2nd goal. Booted 1 in the 2nd quarter. 46 metres out, and good-looking kick.
Oh, he's touched. He's picked that one up, Sandy. But there's another one that's been a little bit off target tonight. Rogers, he's kicked 1 goal, 4.
I reckon Matty would just about argue with that.
Have a look at this.
Have a look.
This has... it's pretty hard to tell from
pretty
that
hard to
angle.
tell, but
Touch and go.
at least he got the touch right anyway. But Matty Rogers could quite easily have 4 or 5 goals himself tonight, so he's at least he's had a fair bit of it on the forward line.
Colbert, Stevens and Harvey all combining. Holland and chops it off on centre wing, beating Lang. Holland, a real up and under, and Harvey just stands his ground.
You've really got to do better than that, you know. It's just
disposals.
Work hard to get the ball, and then you just give it up. Just an easy turnover like that. That really does hurt the side. That.
There's been a story of the night, though.
They're both to blame.
Yeah, both teams. It just has been a bit of a scrappy affair. The foot skills have been pretty ordinary tonight.
Chaffee finds Cameron. And Broderick tucks it under his arm, and away he goes. In towards half forward. Another ball that's not a very good disposal, really, and he's a man who's normally pretty excellent at it. This is Blakey, a worm-burning pass. Try that on. That's how you do it, says the veteran.
Harvey's loose. Oh,
Lang, Pickett, Motlop. If it sits for Shannon Motlop, he's away. He's got McCartney screaming for it, and he accepts the pass between centre and half forward. Makepeace also giving him a lead. That's ignored. He decides to go longer than that. And this time, Kent Kingsley will have a shot 40 metres out at an angle that shouldn't prove too difficult to him.
And this is his first kick for the night, too, for Kent Kingsley. And he just drifted down. I think he's playing in the back line. He really just drifted down with the flight of the ball and found himself about 100 yards clear in the forward pocket. So this should be a goal for the young fella.
Just one behind to his name for the season. Let's see what he can do. Coming from Woodville and West Torrens, a powerful side in the South Australian League. He has added a goal to that one behind.
Yeah, once again, real danger of blowing out. I mean, it's 10 goals already. There's still 10 minutes to go. So really some of the Tigers players really need to lift. Well done by Jason McCartney, who's had a pretty good night. He's really blanketed Ben Hollands all night tonight, McCartney. Had a pretty good night. Good kick there to Kingsley, who's well clear all by himself. And Kingsley, his first goal.
And not a bad crowd here tonight, Rosie and Sandy. 9,231, so that's a pretty good turn up for the Kangaroos in Richmond game.
Well, it's an experiment that is continuing, isn't it? And I'm sure the Kangaroos would dearly love to see that grow as Stevens gets it out towards Blakey. He kicks towards the half-forward line.
It's got to be a free kick. He was all over him.
Yeah, look, once Carey gets you in that position, it's very difficult. What he does there, he just backs himself back underneath the ball, and he's so big and strong that the only thing he can really do is reach around and try and grab him. Just watch, he backs back, and then at the last minute he reaches out, and Gasper really couldn't do anything else than give him the old shove in the back.
And that's the big difference between him and Lee Colbert. Wayne Carey can use his body, can use his hips and his shoulders, and work his opponent away from the ball. And Lee Colbert, just on a couple of occasions tonight, has been caught using his hand, but a great kick from Wayne Carey.
And we see Plugger probably Carey's had a very quiet night. You know, it hasn't been all that prominent. But if you look at his statistics, he's had 14 kicks, 3 handballs, 6 marks, and kicked 3 goals. So I think that's also what sets him apart from a lot of players. Plugger, when he does have a quiet night, it's not a 5-possession game or a 10-possession game. It's still a very, very solid game. 17 possessions and 3 goals for a quiet night is a pretty good effort.
Carey has 3, Blakey has 3, 2 to Scholl and 2 to Lang, the principal scorers for the Kangaroos. Leon Cameron with Channa Motlop. And the bounce, not a good one for Burton. Campbell gets a hurried kick down towards the half-forward line. Aaron James around the body. David King is off. Away he sprints from Rogers. Kicks towards Shannon Grant. Tucked nicely on his left foot. He'll look towards centre wing. Lovely kick. Here they go again. Steadying. Steve-O from Shepparton looks to half-forward. Carey was taken out of it once more. No free kick, however, as Ottens lumbers across that half-back line. Gives it away to Leon Cameron. Cameron looks down towards centre wing and finds Tivendale. Tivendale even wider. Again, the disposal letting Richmond down. Matthew Knight's in frustration. Look at that ball sail over the line.
Yeah, the difference from the Tigers team we've seen here tonight when we saw them play the Sydney Swans early in the year just is really the skill level. The skill level was so high in those first 12 weeks, I guess, for the Tigers, and really tonight it's really let them down badly.
Really was no excuse for Tivendale to miss his target then, and Matthew Knight really, as skipper or as anyone on one of his teams, should have told him that's not good enough, mate. You've got to be able to hit your targets. There was no pressure on him. It was only a 30-metre pass, and it was just a terrible kick. And he really got to be told that he's got to just pick up on that and improve.
I think you both might have touched on it earlier in the game. The Richmond side does actually look a tired team at this stage of the season.
Well, they've had a big year, haven't they? I mean, a lot of close games early in the year has probably taken its toll on them, Sandy, and they have performed admirably well early on in the year. And I really do think without their big guns, it's just starting to take its toll over the whole side. It's affecting the whole side. They really have had a hard working year, and they've done some great things. It's been a great base to build on, and Danny Frawley should be congratulated on the way he's got the club performing and turn things around. But it really does look like it's really starting to take its toll late in the season.
Gasper just having a rest there, boys.
Thanks, Nick. Stevens unable to pick it up. Dragicevic had it and dropped it. Chaffee almost threw it out. Look at them pounce on that ball.
The other problem,
Stevens caught one in the head, by the way.
The other problem too, Sandy, is when you've got players that are out injured a lot, they can't train also. So even guys like Gasper, who haven't missed a lot of games, but they have had some injuries, probably aren't training during the week. So what happens then, you lose a lot of your fitness because you can't train, and then you do start to look tired. So I think that's a problem for the Tigers as well. I guess they've got a lot of sore and sorry guys that perhaps shouldn't be playing at this stage, but really have to because of their injury toll, and they also can't get out in the training track.
Gee, that was good play by Peter Bell. He's still, look at him, he's down there again. He's hustling all the time, and I reckon he's got the ball. He dearly wants it. No, he's going to give it away, is he? It's got come back to Bell.
Have a shot, mate. Have a shot.
He's had a great game today, Peter Bell.
He's even moving for the photographers.
27 possessions. He's going to have a shot, all right.
I think this distance might be beyond him.
He hasn't kicked a goal tonight.
Oh, he's kicked the banana. It's nearly going to... Oh!
That is an outstanding kick from there.
He's kicked a banana from 35 metres.
That would have really topped off his night. It has been very, very, very workmanlike, but not many players would do this, Plugger, from so far out, kicking a banana kick.
In the meantime, play goes on. Leon Cameron bringing the ball back into play, finding Daffy almost on centre wing. Dragicevic has drifted towards the half-forward line. He marks in front of Stevens. Still 7.5 minutes remaining in the match. Harrison had his name on that one. And he's just inside 50, taking the Chaffee kick and hoping to convert. He's been on and off the interchange bench tonight, Ben Harrison. Not a renowned goal kicker, just 3 to his name for the season. And 39 in his career.
He's actually quite a good kick of the football, though, Harrison. So this is not outside, too far outside his distance. So he has a chance from there.
Holland ignored. Harrison from 50 going across the face of goal. Big pack of players smash it to the line.
Why is that pocket so hard to kick goals from, Logan?
I really don't know. I just it's one of the great wonders of the SCG. I think I don't know. I always had trouble kicking goals out of that pocket. I'm just not sure whether the wind comes in through there over the members' stand. I'm just not sure what it is, but it is a tough pocket to kick goals out of.
Harvey to Colbert in towards centre wing and Makepeace. Well, he doesn't with Campbell. He gets around him very easily. Goes towards half forward. Carey got a shove. Shannon Grant should kick a goal at the back. Draws the player and then gives it to Carey. Maybe it'll be he who goes in towards half forward. Unable to pick it up on the half volley was Kingsley. Around he goes. He's in trouble. He needs support and he gets it. But that ball goes out of bounds on the full.
Some good signs for the Kangaroos with some of their players. I think Colbert's been the best game I've seen him play. Also Anthony Stevens, 18 kicks, 4 handballs. He's been particularly good tonight also. So a couple of good signs. I'm sure Dennis Pagan would be really looking to those 2 players to really lift towards the finals.
The Hilton hand pass was okay. Finishes with Bitterscombe. They've got it down towards centre half back. Harrison's running through the middle. He's got to beat a couple here. He got away from King, who looks a little tired, but he's still running in his 150th. Goes towards Knights. Poked out in front of him. Back to Harrison once more. Nothing downfield. He's going to have to go long and centre it. But again, the defence of the Kangaroos standing firm. McCartney takes the mark.
Just haven't been able to find a target in their forward 50 tonight, Richmond.
That's a tired-looking kick as we go down to Nick McCardle.
Yeah, Rosie, you mentioned before about a few of the Richmond players being a little bit underdone, and I just noticed Matthew Rogers sat down, and I was wondering if he was one of the guys you were talking about. They probably needed him to really stand up tonight, coming back and give them something up forward.
Yeah, well, if you look down their list of players, Rogers only played 12 games, missed it a lot. Bitterscone's missed games, Burke's out injured. I mean, you go through their whole list, and there's not too many of them that have played 17 games fully healthy this year, and it's really taking its toll now at the end of the season.
Ottens, the kick coming from Leon Cameron. James in trouble. Back towards Ottens. They've got him cornered. Can't get clear. Again, the Roo numbers telling the story, and away they come. Back towards centre wing. Running with the flight and taking a courageous mark as Craig Bitterscombe. Well done. Holland's in the middle. 5 minutes remaining in the game. The Kangaroos are going to record an emphatic win, their 12th of the season, as they keep their double chance hopes alive. McCartney again. He's done all right, hasn't he, tonight?
Look, he's been very good down back there. That's his 8th mark, his 14th possession. He can really hold his head up high. He's been a real rock at Gibraltar without Mickey Martin and Glenn Archer there tonight.
So too can Blakey, who takes the mark and kicks to Kingsley. Pickett ignored. In fact, he decides to go the other way to David King. Give the 150 gamer another stat. King from half back, disposed on a couple of occasions, has let him down. Colbert to ground. Ball is held in there, and there will be a bounce.
Seems to be attacking the ball pretty well tonight, Plugger, too. I've noticed on 4 or 5 different occasions, he just looks a little bit more confident, Lee Colbert, tonight.
Yeah, look, it's taken a long time, but it might be coming back. Let's hope it is, because he is a great player when he's on full song. But we have seen him struggle a fair bit. Just good, quick hands there again.
Play by Simpson. Go all the way, Blakey. Come off your night, and he does. But that was sensational play by a couple of players. Colbert was one and Simpson was another.
Yeah, look, Simpson's been great. He tagged Campbell early in the game. Let's just watch this here. Great, and there's also a great knockdown there from the ruckman. Great hands from Colbert. Great hands from Simpson. And Johnny Blakey, I think you've just elevated yourself into the vote, son,
yes,
with 4 goals, Plugger.
He'll be wondering why he hasn't played on the forward line all his career, Johnny Blakey.
4 goals to John Blakey.
He's pretty happy about it too, isn't he? Running around, don't you think he was a 21-year-old?
Well, I tell you what, the way he's going tonight, Plugger, your record's in danger. Johnny Blakey is on fire.
That'd be harsh. Ottens. They rip it out of the middle, the Tigers. Still running towards James. And a little toe poke. He can't pick it up. It's over the line.
He's just gone down back now, Lee Colbert, onto Aaron James. So obviously Pagan really conscious of giving him a good run on the ball, up forward, down back, and really trying to get his confidence up and running. I think tonight they've gone a fair way to really getting Lee Colbert up into some sort of pretty good form.
James to do the ruck work. It's a cruel throw-in. James backs up for a kick down towards half forward. Again, it'll be Pickett on the last line of defence, conceding a behind. Peter Bell working in there pretty hard as well.
Yeah, he's worked hard all night, Peter Bell. Just a terrific effort. There's Benny Gale on the bench, Garen Gasper on the bench, and Paul Broderick. So 3 pretty key players.
Some experience there, isn't there?
Certainly is.
Colbert.
That's a beautiful kick.
Every game a bonus for him as King takes the mark on centre wing. Dragicevic making sure he won't play on. King goes long in towards Carey. Again he was held, and he's going to get the free kick.
It's a pretty tough ask for Andrew Callaway, isn't it? Giving away probably 2 or 3 centimetres, 2 or 3 inches in height, and probably about 10 kilos in weight. Carey's certainly a big fella. That's a pretty tough job. Just got the arm around the shoulder, as we see here. Get the arm around. He probably didn't need to do it. He had a bit of a step on him. Got the leap, got up there in the air, and didn't really need to grab him around the neck. And this could be goal number 4 if he kicks this.
Kicking from 48 metres, Carey.
Beautiful.
Lovely kick by the King.
Oh, and he's given a nice bow to the Richmond supporters too.
I wonder whether we got that replay. Just behind the scene there is Wayne Carey, the Roo boy. The Roo boy got a free kick, kicked it right in front of the Richmond Tigers supporters over there. As we see the free kick there, got a free kick, kicked a beautiful goal. He's a magnificent finisher. And as he kicked the ball, as it sailed through, he turned around to the Richmond Tigers crowd and said, "Yes, thanks for the applause. It was a good goal."
79 points is now the margin.
Another little interesting thing, Rizzy, on the scoreboard here, when the Kangaroos kick a goal, a kangaroo comes up with a pair of boxing gloves on and throws a couple of punches. When Wayne Carey kicks a goal, the same kangaroo appears, but he's dressed with his cape and a crown on his head. Royal Roo.
There's Peter Bell. He's been travelling all right too. Spears it in towards Carey again. He can't take the mark, but he's got a number of supporters. Chopped off. It was meant for Simpson, but it was chopped off by Chaffee, and we'll have a throw-in. The Roos attacking zone. A couple of minutes left in the game as the big Spider has a spell. Inside 50 for Carey and co. But only for a moment. Scholl dropping back on it now. Needs someone going past. He could drift it into the middle. Going to have to be pinpoint accurate here. Almost was. Scholl almost ran into a couple of blokes. Makepeace brings it out towards King. King looks in towards the forward line. Over the head of Winston Abraham. Keeping it in play just is Hewitt. Campbell.
Going backwards to Campbell, so another poor decision.
Scholl in front, plucked out of his hands by Royce Vardy. Dragicevic sees it go through the middle with Harrison. Dragicevic is right there with him. Harrison kicks towards half forward. Leon Cameron's down there in the forward line, and it's belted clear of him as Winston Abraham ends his evening with just 1:19 remaining.
Well, Danny Frawl in there thinking, now why did I get into coaching, Plugger?
Well, there's pretty few coaches that have been thinking the same way this year, but it's a tough job, Brucey. Tough job.
Would you ever take it on, Tone?
Oh, I'm quite comfortable up here, Sandy.
What about the North Ballarat Thirds, Plugger?
They got to bring back the Pine Knights. They bring back them on a chance.
Oh dear. On centre wing, and we will see a throw in. One of the last acts in this game with just a minute remaining.
Pie Night was very underrated though, wasn't it? Good night, the Pie Night.
It's a great night.
What was your record number of pies?
Only one, mate. One box.
Yeah, glad we clarified that. Blakey is leaving the ground. It looks as though his night has ended because Winnie Abraham has just come on for the last 50 seconds. Well done, John Blakey. Bowden quickly gets it towards Chaffee. Makepeace has got him. Spills free again. An opportunity for Tivendale. Wider towards Bitterscombe. Bitterscombe looks towards the forward line. Out comes the steaming Matthew Knights.
And he's had a bit of a quiet night, Matthew Knights. He is a great player, but just been a little bit quiet tonight. Richmond really need his drive, not only in the forward line, but right round the ground. And he has been a bit quiet. And a couple of his kicks have been a bit disappointing. Let's see if he can make amends and thread this one through from the tough pocket.
13 goals is the margin. 78 points. Starting it away to the right. And all blue and white. It looks like McCartney again.
And had a great game, hasn't he? He's done some.
Yep.
He's certainly got to figure very closely in the votes tonight, along with probably Peter Bell and
John Blakey.
John Blakey.
So I get the feeling you've just given him the 3.
No. There's a bit of a, they've all had great games.
Yeah. There's the siren, and the Tigers are being put out of their misery as the Kangaroos have recorded a big win. A big win indeed.